Hey everybody, hey Half. Today is Wednesday. Hey Potato. I am just gonna try to get some work done today. That's it. I think the other days we've been pushing for completing the skill tree stuff and we made really good progress. But I want to take a slightly easier day. And I think it's gonna end up being PRs, some kind of miscellaneous work here, and nothing kind of super tough. But who knows? Maybe I just get in the swing of things and everything is great and we get a lot done. I don't know. Wow, that's louder than it should be. Thank you to have distracted from doing work. Hey, Kevin. Yeah, welcome back. 15 months. Quite the long time. Green screen, not very happy today. Yeah, I have a slightly different positioning on it. I wonder if I turn that light down, if this would help. Let's just turn that off completely. That looks a little bit better, at least on the back of my head. I should probably light my face slightly better. Let me see. It's this side. Doesn't matter how long I stream, I'm still gonna need to do that. Yeah, there we go. That's nicer. Nice, real nice. Yeah, thank you for commenting on that. Hey, Miss Skeleseller. Hey, Darkstorm. All right, so let's look at the PRs. I don't want to hold other people up, and I think there are a few PRs. And let's start with this and this. Yeah. I just want to see what the comment is for this. Yeah, I had looked at this. I do need to merge this at some point or recreate it at some point. I need to put some thought into this. I think this is going to be its own entire thing. Do I have this written down? I don't have this written down. Okay, we'll put this on the list. Sounds, need to figure out how we want to move forward with sounds. I think I should probably spend some time making the foundational system and laying out the patterns. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to ignore this one for now. A lot of that work, by the way, just to be clear, and I played this the other day, but I'm not going to download it and play it again. It was to figure out, are sounds too chaotic in this game? You have up to 3 battles going on at a time. You have the town stuff going on. And almost no matter what, you can't really pay attention to 4 different things at once in the game. So that means that you're going to hear sounds from things that you're not actively expecting. And other games maybe sometimes kind of have this problem. Like if you think of Super Mario Bros., you are directly controlling Mario. When you jump, it makes a jump sound. When you collect a coin, it makes a collect coin sound. Imagine if there were 100 Marios, though. You probably don't want to hear coins for all of them. So yeah, anyway. Yeah, I definitely like the art style. The one thing I was debating on, so we have these skill icons, and I talked to Quickie Joe about, hey, how hard would it be to make skill icons for every single class? And he said it would be quite the task. So I think we should find maybe slightly more fitting icons. Like these aren't too bad. Also, we don't need to keep them in black and white. We can color them. We can do some things to add some personality. If you take any of these, let's take something that's actually in the game. I guess one of these arrow ones. Let's take this one, for example. So there are lots of ways you can change the color. You can do something like this, for example, where you've got a gradient in there. You can change how the gradient looks. You could just have it be a solid color. You could add a border to it. They have a, where is it? Yeah, here, shape square. So you could make like, I'm not trying to make nice looking colors. I'm just saying you could make the skill icon look like this. And now it's not so flat. Obviously the colors look terrible. We're gonna merge the sound. I need to work more on that. We need to assign buses and fix a bug on Broken Town reference on game load. Just found out. No, I don't think we're gonna merge it. I think I'm gonna sort of recreate it based on what you learned doing it. But I think that's gonna be later. And I have some ideas that I had written down myself. I think about like sound IDs and stuff. I don't know where I wrote that. But I think the point is, yes, we should definitely move forward with sounds. And then we need to find the right sound packs or free sounds. They just all need to work together. It's probably easier to get sounds to work together than it is to get art to work together. Because I think people have less trained ears than they do eyes. What if we can add a shader to those for a cheap pixel art knockoff? We don't even necessarily need a shader. We could run it through some like processing pipeline ahead of time, which I guess could be done with a shader, but something that, this is input and as output, it makes something like the graphics we saw over here. We can look at game assets, icons. Yeah, so this was just the first thing to show up on itch. But this has how many icons? 7,000 plus. And probably we can't use all of them. But if you just look quickly at these graphics that are scrolling by, it's like, yeah, you could see these for some skills. And you could add other icons on top of them. They don't really exactly fit the current style, but maybe that's okay. And if there are any missing from here, it's certainly easier to add in, 2 or 3 icons than it is to add in 150. It's like, okay, that could be quick shot, and that could be I don't know, some sort of summoner ability or something like that. They look nice. They just might not fit, and maybe we don't have everything we need. Hey, Simon. Hey, Punky Monkey. Downsize all icons by 8, nearest neighbor, then back to original size. Yeah, and would it look good? Would it look like it's been processed through something? Would it fit the theme? Hey, Crows. Oh, hey, King of Spoons. You could make a mini game where you have to sword fight with another skeleton. I don't think I want to add in too many like manually controlled mini games. Also, I don't have a story for how there'd be another skeleton exactly. Yeah. But anyway, the world is our oyster once we have a game that people find fun and we can kind of experiment with some ideas. I find that a lot of games you can add to them without removing anything. So let's say you made a game and you have whatever crafting and you're like, you know what, we're going to add a fishing system. You probably can't just add the fishing system. You probably have to subtract from something else, as in now it's got to relate to the crafting system or relate to the cooking system. And to be sort of clear here, what I mean is maybe you're making the player fish when they don't want to fish and they find that system kind of boring. So yeah, some of those I think can be sort of hard to do, and maybe you just add fishing as like a fun thing to do, and it's actually a worse way of making money than all the other stuff, and you players can just choose to do it. Has a few packs that look interesting. Yeah, I want to run this by Quickie Joe, and I want to find out what should we use, because I saw a lot of packs like this. This is like high detail pixel art, right? This is 32 by 32. They're like well shaded and everything, and yeah, they look cool. But how hard is it to match this style? Does this match our current style? Yeah, I am too. Important question: are we still using Oryx items, or did you find a better looking pack? We're using Oryx items for now. The way I look at it is swapping out the Oryx pack to something else should be pretty much just dev work and not any artwork. And dev work is something that, I mean, I could always do if I need. So I don't think so yet. There's no concrete plans, but shouldn't be that bad to switch. We don't have any animated sprites there. We don't have any. They're just one item, one sprite. That's it. Yeah, so make it fun. I mean, this is this is easier said than done, right? I think every game developer is trying to make their game fun, and some hit that target and some don't hit that target. Yeah. It's the most fun fighting mechanics you've ever used? That I've ever used? I mean, in a game, I maybe you mean played, in which case I think it's just Smash Bros. I really like how that game is set up. But just to be clear, King of Spoons, I'm not sure if we're on the same page here. This is not a manually controlled game, really. Like when you start a battle in this game, you are just sitting back, hands don't have to be on the keyboard. It's a semi-idle game. So like the whole sword fighting with a skeleton thing is something that just probably doesn't fit this game at all. So I think it'd be a little bit jarring if all of a sudden it's like, hey, take control of a character, like set up a controller, make sure your mouse and keyboard controls are good, just for a mini game that shows it for 2 minutes or something. All right, so we're not going to do the sounds thing right now. Credits menu, I think the only problem was the links. Yeah, yeah, and this should be good. Okay, so let's go look at the changes since I last reviewed this. What? I guess it can't tell what changed since last time. I could find the old commit. I guess let's go do that. Yeah, nice. I think all we have to do is copy this and then put this into here. I know there are only 2 commits. I know I can just click that, but I want to see if I were to manually construct this myself, does this work? Oh, even that doesn't work. Okay, well, it's only the 1 new commit, so I guess we just look at that one. But yeah, bizarre. Whoops, not that one. That's this one. I wonder why that doesn't work. Why couldn't it just diff across the 2 commits? There are only 2, so what would a force push do? Oh well. Anyway, URL name cell 1. Yeah, these all have URL now on them. I don't really care so much about the names in the scene, so I'm not gonna try to think if there's a better one for that. All right, so this scene just has a rich text label, which should have a script. The script is there. It is URL rich text label.cs. Looks good. And this is on meta click to get the URL if it's a well-formed URI. Interesting. Always do nothing. I wonder when this is called. Because if we are using this, if we're using this label and this return would have gotten hit, it means we have a malformed URL, which means we should probably throw an exception or something. Because right now it's going to mean that it'll look like you can click, but it'll do nothing. I don't think it's very important. Once someone has gotten the most numbers you can get, people might not want to play your game anymore. Yeah, that's totally fine. I mean, it's a one-time purchase game. It's not meant to be infinite. It's like Undertale. You play Undertale and you get to the end, and then people might not want to play anymore. That's fine. They beat the game. There's no issue. This is 341. Whoops. What are we doing here? Get status. I have a bunch of commits. I should probably be working in other branches. PR checkout 341. Rejected. Failed to run. What? I'm confused. So we don't have URL text or whatever URL label. No, this did fail, but it didn't actually tell me why, right? Non-fast forward. Something's funky about this PR. I don't think it's anything Kevin did. I don't know what's going on though. Maybe just to get pull. Huh, what is GHPR checkout rejected? Hey Kappa. Is the end of your game a mystery? If so, that's epic. No. King of Spoons, you should play the game. I feel like this is going to be a very circuitous conversation without that. So do check it out. Because otherwise I think it's going to be kind of confusing and you're going to be trying to kind of glean all the information in the game from just me talking to you. Hey, yo. All right, rejected. And we'll check out code. Pass a different branch name. Could I just delete the old branch name? Pass -F. Okay, let's try that. Yeah. All right, hooray. Now we have URL label. Yeah, we do. Weird. Well, I guess it was an easy Google search away, so I guess I don't need to really write notes about it. But maybe it's a good idea. Do we have the GH tool? Yeah, we do. Troubleshooting. Updates were rejected. All right, so what was this one? Rejected. I guess non-fast forward. ... Non-fast forward. All right, and that was this one. Cool. And if you see a message like this, just run the same command with -F, assuming you don't care about the local version of the branch, which in this case I did not. And now we're good, and now we can run it, and we should be able to click all the stuff. Yeah. All right, return to title. Credits button now works. We can click this link. This now makes me realize I want to change what the link goes to. But yeah, everything else I think should be good. I'm kind of surprised that these people are submitting graphics to the site and don't have links. Yeah. I wonder if I should just click all of these. Yep, just making sure they work. Yep. Yep. And then these, I'm gonna just trust that they're fine. Okay, so let's just go change my link. Adam Learns. And probably change this to Twitch. And let's go try running that. I really don't think anyone's gonna click any of this stuff. I don't know how many people look at the credits. Yeah, there, that's working. Okay, so we'll just say change my link in the credits. All right, git push. Oh, interesting. I don't have a remote for Kevin, do I? No. All right, Krasner, thank you. Thank you for clicking all those links. Get remote add. Name of remote, URL of remote. Okay, get remote add Kevin. And the URL is going to be this. Let me make sure I'm not assuming what the URL is here. Credits menu. Yeah. Okay. Good. Skeleseller.git. All right, there we go. Can't try your game? Yeah, that's totally fine. There is a note on the page about how to get past that if you want to. In here, install instructions. But if you don't want to do that, you don't trust me, that's totally cool. Let's see. So now what we do is git push Kevin I/1/credits menu. All right, and that should have updated the PR. I am not even clicking the right thing. Here it is. I see 3 commits. Perfect. All right, resolve and merge. Cool. All right, so the Krasner dialog is done. Next up, FPS limit setting. This closes 293. Okay, and I think I talked about some quick notes. Yeah, I should probably go look at Discord and see what was said about this, because I said some stuff on here. It's a bit tricky. Get screen refresh rate, but after reading about it, it seems like it only works if VSync is enabled. VSync is not exactly the same. Maybe we should add a toggle for that. Other thing is, what happens if the user starts the game on a 60 hertz monitor, moves it to a 120 hertz one? Okay, so I don't know what to do for this exactly. And I guess I now have a faster than 60 hertz monitor, but it's still in a cardboard box. So I don't know what this would feel like or look like or what people would want here exactly. But yeah, let me copy what Kevin said though. We need 3 things: a toggle for VSync, toggle for FPS limit. The FPS limit, I guess we have an on and an off. I'm trying to find the picture again. There it is. Yeah, we can turn it on. I'm just curious what happens if someone has like a 90 hertz monitor. They'd have to set it to 120. And if they have something faster than 144, I guess they'd have to set it to off. I wonder if we should just add a 300 option so that it's not unlimited. I don't know. Maybe don't waste more time on this one yet. Hey, Batman. Yeah, I think some research might be good. And I guess I'll just link to the conversation we had over here. We talked about this a bit on Discord. Adam's thoughts, Kevin's response. Copy message link. The general conclusion is that we should probably do a little more research before merging this. Yeah, I think that's totally fine. Then Dark said, a quick code search tells me that we only use physics process for navigation, so it would be safe to increase the physics steps to match the FPS. I don't think we should do this. Yeah, none of that's used, so it's just this. And this is only to find a different path. Yeah. I think the whole point is that you want, well, by the way, physics process is technically also used for item collision. The point is that you don't want the physics stuff, which is typically going to be a little bit more, I think, resource intense, to be run at the same rate as your refresh rate, because it shouldn't matter. Also, Godot now has some physics interpolation thing, I think. But yeah. All right, take care, Mystical Cell. You have some set of options in a launch arg to set a specific FPS. CS only has a way to limit FPS through the console. But the console is something that probably most CS players know about, right? Don't you just press like tilde and then type some command and then you have your FPS set correctly? Because if that's the case, I think that's still pretty easy for most players to do. Ideally, it should run at 50 steps. I mean, ideally, physics should run as infrequently as possible and still give you the desired output for your game. In fact, that's how pretty much everything should work, is you run everything as little as possible, and as long as it's not impacting the game negatively, then you're good. In our case, we use physics for the two things, finding the paths and item collisions. But I don't think it's probably important to look at yet. I also don't think it's important to increase the physics step. I don't think it'll do anything for the game. Probably not most casual players, I see. To have physics at greater than or equal to 60 per second. What do we have it set to right off the bat? Because I didn't change anything in the project settings. Physics. Common. Physics ticks per second. Yeah, 60. Yeah. We have it set to 60. Number of fixed iterations per second. This controls how often physics simulation and node.physics process methods are run. Only used when the project starts. Yeah. Huh. How do you type those arrows? That is with Espanso. I have a whole set of these, so I can type something like organization with just apostrophe O, or whatever, sscom for skeleseller.com, or the Steam link, or the Twitch link, or emotes and stuff. That's all a nice little time savings. All right, so we're holding off on the FPS thing, and I think there was only one other PR, and it was this, the proof of concept for localization. Yeah, it is really nice on Hello. Yeah, I love it. It saves a lot of time, especially with things you're typing all the time. And some of them, I mean, maybe you're typing in VS Code, and then yes, you can have a macro for it. But sometimes you're just typing something to somebody else, and it's like, hey, I want a sunglasses emoji. Okay, well, there it is. On Discord, you can type a colon and then maybe sunglasses. I type in Signal. I think Signal might have the same thing, but it might have a different name maybe. So it's like, might as well just make a thing for it. And all the emotes that you use all the time are gonna are gonna be right there under what you expect. Most used is duck. Is it a duck emoji? Or is it something else? Is this type quack? All right, spend some time looking into localization in Godot. 2 ways to do it: via CSV, easy but limited, or with Git text files. More involved, better results. You went with the latter based on the fact that it supports pluralization, while CSV does not. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I also wrote a small, I wonder if we can combine the two. I don't think it's a good idea. I think we should just use Git text files the whole time. Also wrote a small doc comparing the two formats, just a quick reference. Ideally, we'd also have a guide of how to localize a new scene or update the template of an existing one. Godot supports the plain text out of the box. Files not needed. What is this? This is going to be some binary file, right? Yeah, binary file. I think I would not check this in if it's compiled then, because it seems like it's only going to hurt development the first time, and then it'll just be on disk. Yeah. Here's a snippet of a template for a string with interpolation and plural form. Ooh. Message ID plural. Plural forms. Very interesting. How does this get used? Oh, it's maybe automatically used if it knows that it has multiple. I want to see sort of the end to end of this, and I'll need to take a look at this some more. What? What am I looking at right here? You have like oh, I see a test mesh. Okay, this is quite involved for a text expansion. All right, let's look at the files changed here. I like the idea of getting this in now, though. I think this is a pretty good idea. All right, so button.new game. Then where does this get used? Oh, here we go. All right, how do we look at the preview for this? View file. Does it have a preview thing here? Nice, it does. End up requesting that URL a bunch of times. Oh. I see. The expansion is for the link, and then you click the link. Is that how it works? Because I was going to say, having it expand to be this gigantic, what looks like a JSON blob. Either way, if it works, it works. I was going to say, I would probably put it on my homepage and just load it from here. Click duck.png. I know it's not a PNG. All right, part of the application is common in both cases, namely for elements added in the editor to scenes. You set its text to the screen key that will be used in the translation files. As an example, the new game button may have a key for this that will be matched in the localization files against the actual string. Yeah. This can easily be done in project settings, localization, translation. Here, click add and select the localization file. For text that's added onto the scene via code, we can still use the localization keys and pull them from the right locale. We can even use formatting to localize strings based on values calculated at runtime. For that, we have access to the TR method or TRN for pluralizable strings. Pluralized translations are only supported with getText. Yeah, this is fine. Translates a message using the translation catalogs. This all seems very easy, which is great. CSV approach is straightforward. You create a file. I'm just going to read this out of curiosity, but we're not going to use this, I think. Create a file with a keys column being the keys that we set in our elements. Then for each supported locale, we add a new column. Very interesting. I mean, I guess maybe you can use both, and maybe it makes sense to use this when you've got some really straightforward thing like a settings menu or something. I don't know. I want to see what it looks like with, and I'm guessing Kevin provided English and Spanish here, but I want to see what it looks like with PO format. The file format used by the getText package. Main difference is that here each locale is defined in its own file, follows a common template. For example, given the following template, the English localization may look like this. Yeah, seems pretty nice. As message ID, people put the source string directory. So I'm not sure how you use it with TR. I guess you call TR with the same thing. I guess you'd have to because there's an ID passed into TR. Right? I don't know. Oh, directly. Oh, put the source string directly. Oh, wait. Oh, then that doesn't. Never mind. I thought you were talking about they use the path to the string. All right, I need to take a look. So let's keep looking at this. So title screen, we just say text equals this. Interesting. Very interesting. So it's not a special parameter. It's literally just set the text to this and it somehow works. Mm. Yeah. Are you doing internationalization? That's like 40% of the work for adding modding support. Might as well tack that on. Modding for equipment. Also, probably nice programs to manage .po files if they're used by a common package. poedit.net. Hey, Z-Wubs. Z-Wubs. Need to crown in chat. Is this free? There's a pro version as well, I guess. What does this cost? Buy. Hang on, I don't know what this is going to show, so I'm going to just click this off screen. Oh, it's a monthly thing? Oh, no, there's a single person license for 30 bucks. Oh, and they have machine translation as well. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, well, we don't necessarily need to use this one in particular, but I think something to manage these might be nice. I guess I'll write some notes about this. Localization. We probably want a tool to manage the PO files. Ideally, it would be something that's free. Yeah, just for the sake of the budget. And then I do want to test this out myself. I guess let's pull this. Check out 349. So if I load the title screen here, we're going to see exactly the same thing we just saw in the code, which is that the text of this is set. Oh, no, not these ones. These ones. Title screen.button.new game. Does it show up in the editor? No, it doesn't. Oh, that's kind of a shame. Unless there's something I need to do. Maybe I need to build or something. Also, multiple platforms that can be used to manage them. I guess a lot of these are aiming for the whole use our AI to translate stuff. Yeah, we'll have to look into something like that. This is a little bit bizarre. I think that's why I use the source strings as the message ID. So in the editor, you'd see the English version. Yeah, but then the button names all need to be, or the button text all needs to be unique, which I guess is not that hard to do. That is interesting. So if I load up the title screen, yeah, we see new game, load game, quick game. And if I go into localization here, we see this. Okay, I want to find out how the pluralized thing works, like in practice. Because I saw what Kevin said about this, but then how does this get used exactly? Like where do we plug in the information? And TR must take in some number of arguments, right? For detailed examples, see internationalizing games. Feature placeholders in your translated strings. Use format strings or the equivalent in C#. Lets translators move the location of the placeholder in the string freely, which allows translations to sound more natural. Named placeholders with string format. Should be used whenever possible as they allow translators to choose the order in which placeholders appear. Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, this is definitely something we got to write down. Whoops. We should name our placeholders in formatted strings. Oh, ref isn't a thing? Wait, what? Ref isn't a thing. What did I make this? I have some shortcut for this. Oh, there it is. I knew I had something. It's Control Alt Command Shift R. I just haven't used that in forever, I guess. Pluralization is also fun. Yeah. Well, it's going to be probably better than what we have right now in the game. Translation context. You're using plain English as source strings rather than message codes like this. You may run into ambiguities where you have to translate the same English string to different strings in certain target languages. You can optionally specify a translation context to resolve this ambiguity. Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess one way of doing this is, you use close as your message ID. And then if you have an ambiguity, you could do something like actions close. But then in your editor, you're going to see a button that is much larger than the word close, which is, to be honest, probably almost a benefit. It makes it harder for you to scan easily and see, oh, this is really just the word close. But then any translations where let's say the German word is longer wouldn't be a problem. Hey, Reed. In the PO file, you also reference which part of the code uses a specific string. So you'll see that the strings all have a comment above mentioning which scene they come from. Huh, okay. Always preferred going with dedicated IDs. I think it's a trade-off of whether you want your scenes in the editor to look like this, which, by the way, one of the issues with this is that the buttons might actually get too large for the scene when we know that the words new and game are not going to take up that much space in any language. Although unknown, are you talking about doing this for game dev? Because I was going to say for maybe for something like web dev, it could be a little different. Where does modding support fall on the priority list? I think very low. Like so low that I'm not planning on doing it. Yeah, for web dev. Yeah, well, I guess you run in the same thing with web dev. I guess if you have any preview of the page, which I guess you wouldn't have with web dev, you just build the page and then you'd see this here. Then, um, yeah, you just see the final string. So it makes sense for web dev. I think it makes a little less sense for game dev. I think we would just want new game to be the tag for this. All right, so how does this work? Most languages require different strings depending on whether an object is in singular or plural. Hard coding is plural condition depending on whether there's more than one object is not valid in all languages. Some have more than two plural forms, and the rules depend on the number of objects required for each. Oh, the rules on the number. Yeah, sure. Godot offers support for pluralization, so the target locale can handle this automatically. Meant to be used with positive or zero integer numbers only. Okay, sure. I mean, I guess the language can still decide that. Hey, Nimitus. Interesting. Okay, I see how this works now. Okay. Yeah. Making controls resizable. Same text in different languages can vary greatly in length. For this, make sure to read the tutorial on size and anchors. To check whether your UI can accommodate translations with longer strings, you can enable pseudo-localization. Placeholders are kept as is, so they keep working. Yeah. Yeah, this is great. Man, I'm glad Godot has some of this stuff out of the box. Yeah, I remember using this back when I worked at Microsoft, a pseudo localization thing. And a lot of times it would look pretty similar to this. And just like what they say is the benefits, it's like if you don't see a string that looks funky, you know you didn't even localize it. And it'll add a bunch of characters just kind of randomly. Here, I think it only added 2, added square brackets around all this, which is only going to expand this by 2. But I feel like it should have expanded this by like 10 or 12 or something like that. But that's another thing you'd be able to tell is, okay, well, I don't know how to speak whatever my target language is, Korean. So I don't know what hello world would be there, but it might be longer. And if it's longer, then we want to see if it truncates the button. Change some settings to also double the vowels, etc. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah. This is crazy. It's usually German. I think it might usually be German. I wouldn't expect it to be any of the East Asian languages, because I think a lot of them are much denser in terms of number of characters used to represent an idea. Okay, interesting. So what were my notes here? How to do template strings. Yeah, so that's pretty apparent. Other note, once we merge anything to do with localization, we should probably start putting all of them in the localization files. Okay, so now that I've read through some of this stuff, I think the next tasks would be find a free program that lets us manage the .po files, and then document how we should add strings with examples for each, I guess, like equivalence class, e.g. pluralizing a string, formatting an ability, and just making a simple button with new game. And then maybe consider moving all existing strings into these files. If you use for potato in any of the English dialects. I recently searched for that on Wikipedia. Apparently, it can be a derogatory term, and I did not know that. I only know it as potato because people in chat kept spamming it a long time ago. And by people, I mean like two people. So I learned that I meant potato pretty quickly. You can select scenes or source files that have strings to be localized and generate the template for you. Yeah, so Kevin, I might end up leaving this to you. I might end up leaving this to Dark to do these tasks. But yeah, it's pretty much like figure this stuff out. Um, Either way, uh, submit a single file that changes any scene, usually the title screen. And what else do we need to do? Figure out what we'll use for message IDs. Given that the text of a button changes, I think we should probably use the English localized string. See picture below. Do I still have that open? No, of course not. I don't know how often people use that, by the way. This is the unfortunate thing about derogatory terms, is that you might go your entire life not knowing there's even any negative connotation associated with it. It's like there are some just regular English words. I remember at Google, the word inscrutable was something you're not supposed to ever use anywhere. And to me, it was just like, well, that's just an English word, right? But apparently it's got some connotation. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. And it's hard to know what all of the possible meanings of a word are, because unless you're, up to date on how people are using the word, you might only know the dictionary definition. There's something else I want to do. Oh yeah, that's right. Take the picture. Oh wait, it's not a picture of this. It's a picture of the editor. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Let's put some rectangles around this. There we go. You cannot use Kek W. I mean, that's definitely constructed though. Like not a word that's just existed for centuries. Oh, they're working on live preview for translations. Oh, cool. This was September. Huh. Mentioned this last week. Mentioned last week. Force push to this last week. So September until now, this has been about a month. Yeah, September 12th to October 16th. Well, okay, what would it be for us to use message IDs and then change? I guess we'd have something like title screen dot new game dot, or what did Kevin use? I don't know. Title screen dot something dot something. Title screen dot button dot new game. So I think this is pretty much ideal if we could use this and still get the previews. So I guess what we would do instead is we would just write new game, and then we have to go through and change them. I guess that's not that bad of a task, right? It'd be tedious. And anywhere we don't do it wouldn't really be a big deal. Yeah, so I think we should probably start with the start with just the English translation. However, this PR or this draft, this feature, I guess, is in the works. Still, I don't think it would be too hard to change new game to title screen dot buttons dot new game if that lands anytime soon. Although this isn't a high priority. And this may get done in the time that we're doing this. Yeah, unfortunately, having this conversation is pretty tough, right? Like Mootsie just said, I learned a slur from Overwatch censoring a part of a longer word. Maybe go, huh? And I'm curious, what is that? But we probably shouldn't be talking about that. The word's offensive in some language. Ah, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, someone who only knows English, my only connotation with that is the guy laughing. Another option is change the buttons to new game, but give them the context title screen dot button. Yeah, like I said, I'm probably gonna leave this to whoever ends up doing this to figure this out. I'll just paste what you said here. Hey, Salazar. What's the scope of the message IDs? Just within the PO file, which is per screen? Sounds like there wouldn't be a huge chance of ambiguous overlap. I think it is just within that one file, and I agree. I don't think there'd be much of a chance of overlap, because probably there'd be common actions like close or accept. And yeah, probably you could just do something like close settings versus close whatever else. But actually, in those cases, it'd probably be the exact same word. The example that they used was close. If you just see these 5 letters written out, it could mean something like to close a door, or it could mean something like the door is close, like nearby. And you don't know which one just based on seeing the word. But what are the odds that that even happens? Like, how often would you find that in the same scene? Hey, 3D extended. Yeah, close but no cigar. New lighting. Well, I just set some different lights. It's all the same lights. I just have them turned on a little differently, I guess. So I guess it probably does look slightly different. I run into this issue so often in video games. The translation issue? Replace all words with icons? I don't want to hear you out. Have to be some context alongside it. Oh, for translators to know, I fully agree. Yeah. For translators, you can't just know what this means. And yes, you would need to see it in context of the UI or something. I don't even know how we're going to do that. There are 2 tasks when it comes to localizing. One is the code, so that you just have an easy way to add new languages, and then the other is the words themselves. So what is new game in language X? And I can't do this part. There's no way I'm doing this part. So when we do get to this and we're like, okay, we need something for Russian or German or French or something like that, I think you have 2 ways of even doing that. One is largely AI focused, and maybe AI has gotten pretty good at this. Honestly, it sounds like a pretty good task for it. And the other is human focused, where you just find people who speak the language. I think I'd probably want to do AI focus for the majority of it, maybe like 80 to 90%. And then for anything maybe like pun based, so Skeletown, I don't think AI would probably do a great job with that. Although it's actually not bad. So maybe we get humans to look over that and then yeah, drop you a DM on Discord. Oh yeah, I saw briefly it was about changing mentoring, right? I'm totally fine with that. I just have to things have been busy because my family's been here and I've been trying to split my attention in a lot of different ways. So I will respond, but yes, it's totally fine. We can switch it. Just string some words together to make new words. Yeah. Then you also get to choose if you even bother translating proper nouns and puns. Yeah, like you can apparently translate the entire project name. So Skeleseller could be something else. But I don't know if I'd want to do that. And like we wouldn't be changing the logos and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, this is all stuff we'll look into later. Ski down. I didn't I didn't write that, right? No, I didn't write that. Okay, good. Submit a file as a single file that changes to any scene so that we have some concrete usage of this work. Okay, yeah. Great job looking into this. Yeah, I think this is nice to have some, excuse me, some research done on this. This is just a proof of concept, so I'm not going to check this in. And I think that brings us to the end. Maybe there was a third one. No, yeah, we're good. It's now Ska Town. Scala. No, JVM targeted language. All right, note from past Adam. The whole point of today is to just trim some tasks from the list. I don't want to do hard work. I'm stretching myself thin if I do. It's a bricklaying day. Yeah, I wrote this because I'm I'm not blaming things. I'm not unhappy. I'm actually very happy right now. But I mentioned my parents are visiting right now, and they're only here for about a week, and I want to make sure that I'm spending as much time with them as possible. So in the evenings, like last night, it was 9:30 p.m. We're kind of just hanging out, and I was on my laptop and I was responding to some of the more important things for Skeleseller. But it's not like I can put in the time that I really deserves to respond completely, and yet I don't want to spend the time yet. So I've been a little stretched thin, and I think it's fine. I think I can still do good work today. I just don't think it's going to be anything like super impactful. So let's see, what do we have? Probably want a tool to manage a file. We should name our placeholders and format. Oh yeah. This definitely needs to be written in that thing. Where did I write that? Where are you? I don't know how to get to you. Just go back to it this way. I want to edit this comment. We should definitely use named placeholders. Where's the reference link? Here it is. mref. This will help a lot for ability strings that each have up to like 5 placeholders. Some of the abilities in the game, I don't know of a quick example, so let's just go search for precision. This has 1, 2, 3, 4 placeholders. And when translating this, I guess you'd want to say something like total power bonus, power per level, total power bonus, power per level. Oh, do those get the right percentage formatters? I don't know. I think we determine that though. You just specify number. Yeah, I think you. I don't know. Drat. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta write this down. Hey, Beetlejuice. Excuse me. Um, something I'm curious about is where a :p0 formatter would go for localization. If it's into each localization file, then it may mean that when we change the English version, or that when we change stats, e.g., something grows by an integer, 5%, and we change it to grow by a float 7.5. Well, not an integer, I guess a round number. And we change it to grow by a decimal 7.5%. We have to change multiple localization files. For now, that example would be the difference between using :p0 and :p1. Okay, cool. There, it's all settled. And we can cross it off. Next up, change Steam button hover style so it doesn't expand the logo. All right, let's do some of these changes. These should be pretty simple. Switch back to main. Please commit changes. Oh, because I changed. What did I change? This is some like UID of a scene file changing. I don't really care about this. Revert. And switch. Okay, so now we got to rebase my changes. Git pull rebase. Easy peasy. Actually, probably push those changes. And now let's go look at the Steam button. We need to take care of the decimal format too. That's something that C# handles automatically based on the locale. So if you say something like, you've got a string like this, some %:p0, and let's say percent is equal to 0.05, then at least in English, it's going to look like 5%. So now if you do something like T1 and this is this, it'll look like 5.5%. And other languages might do 5,5%, or I don't know what else is possible out there. But that's handled by the C# side of things. So there's got to be some way for Godot to communicate with C# to tell it what the locale is, or vice versa. Yeah, it's done in the runtime, yeah. But the problem that we were having right now is that, and this is really minor, and I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about this even, but sometimes you have a percent, like a 7.5% increment. So half the time it's going to be with a decimal point, and half the time it's going to be with not a decimal point. So the growth of this looks like this. And when it doesn't have a decimal point, we still render it with 0.0, which I think looks bad in the context of a game. And I don't know how to fix that and still have all the locales also look good. Live coding. All right. So does this even still happen? Running issues or slowdowns using C# as opposed to GDScript? I have not run into slowdowns with either one really, or at least not due to the language. I think GDScript is getting better and better. I ran into some issues with it, and I think I have a command about this. Oh, where is it? Maybe I didn't make a command. I know for sure it's in here. But yeah, I wrote some quick notes about why I'm using it at least. Which is right there. Is this up to date? Yes, it is. Okay, so Steam button. How's that looking? Yes, I think for the hover style on this, we probably just don't change the size of the logo. Yeah. All right, so where is that? It's doing that thing again. Changing the UID of this. This probably isn't super important, and I can probably just check that in, but it is a little bit strange. All right, so Steam button. And there must be some hover thing. What is this? Type button. Can you give it a hover state? There's a, interesting. It's got its own theme. And the theme gives it a hover state, I guess. Probably. It's defined in the title theme. Okay, you know what? New plan. Assign these things to Kevin, I think. Hey, Coffee. Welcome to the stream. Oh, been a big fan? Cool, yeah. Did you watch on Twitch back in the day? You need to select the type button Steam. Oh, there's a specific button for it? Would you be okay just doing this? Because there were actually a couple changes. And they're, yeah, I see. Hover style and everything. Oh, that's cool that you can do this. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. I do keep getting this weird bug using an external editor where progress will be undone when saving. Yeah, I had a bunch of external editor problems and that really, really bothered me. And some of them, I think the most insidious one was that if I saved with an error, it would format the rest of the file and I wouldn't even realize that it had done that. And then I would fix the error up here and save again and not ever scroll down. And I mean, some of this stuff is probably like I could fix it in VS Code, but it's just harder to do. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to file this as a task. Follow-ups for the title screen. All right, copy markdown so that we can just paste it in here. It copied with spaces. What? Okay, yeah, cool. All right, assign this to Kevin and submit. And label, do we have a title screen thing? No, we have a UI though. I'll just put it there. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you very much, Kevin. All right, so we can delete that. And we can get back to skill trees, right? All right, we should have differing max levels. These were the, I want to put this into the game design doc. I think this is probably pretty important. I don't want to forget this stuff. Design is here. Do we mention skills somewhere? Players still have skill points they can assign to customize abilities. Classes have a class defining and passive ability that cannot be leveled up. Yeah, some of this stuff isn't true anymore. Alfred, thanks for the resub. 38 months. Oh, wait. Oh, no. What? Coffee, are you Alfred? Or are you... Time flies. No, okay. I guess you're saying you subscribed on YouTube. Either way, thank you. Thank you both. Hey, guest. Time does fly. Man, when I see 38 months or 54 months or something like that. No, I know. Okay, so when I'm responding to someone on YouTube who said I just subscribed at the exact same time that you subscribed, but I realize it's probably in the context of subscribing on YouTube. All right, abilities are upgraded via skill points you earn on leveling up. When on an instance, you can add and subtract. I want to write this down. Yeah, I guess I'll just write adventurer skills. And let's move all the skill stuff there, and then let's put this in there too. I'd like this to be organized. All right, players still have skill points. So this would go down there, and then we're going to update all of this. The reason I'm doing this, even though I said I don't want to keep this up to date, is because I want to remember why I'm making some of these decisions, and that's important. So this and this can go down to here too. Any other skill stuff we talk about? We might have called it abilities, so we may need to look into that. This is a player-wide skill tree. Experience and leveling. Maximum level should be low-ish. I'm going to just not talk about that. And then let's look for the word ability. Predefined set of 3 abilities. Ooh, this isn't even part of the design anymore. Interesting, though. You can see the rationale for having this idea. It was allowing for customization without being too overwhelming. It allows you to have characters fill multiple roles. And we decided that's not a problem anymore. So yeah, delete that. Then what's this stuff? Classes have a predefined set of 2 abilities and cannot swap them with other abilities. Oh yeah, I wrote conflicting things in the design. Having more than 2 in a large battle would probably result in too much going on. Having multiple abilities has too much overlap with choosing adventurers. You don't need to learn a new system. players will have to do less micromanagement, easier for us to balance, easier to have a class-defining passive ability if you know which two are equipped at all times. I'll just say easier to have a synergistic ability bundle if there's only one configuration for that bundle. So few abilities wouldn't work. Yeah, cool. Abilities cannot be switched while in an instance. Put this down here. Predefined set of abilities. Abilities are used as soon as they're cooled down. Sure. Anything else here? I think that's it. All right. Then now I want to bundle this in. Actually, first we need to fix whatever's broken about this. This is fine. This is fine. This isn't technically true anymore. That's fine. And that's fine. But that's pretty much assumed. Do you think a game engine that uses Lua, such as Roblox, is a good way to start learning how to develop games? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think there are a lot of routes for learning how to develop games. And at a high level, it is either make a game or it's modify a game. And both of these can be totally fine. I think the nice thing about modifying a game is that you get all of the benefits of the game itself. So for example, if you modify Minecraft or Roblox, you get networking for free. You don't need to do the networking stuff. You don't need to handle synchronizing things. You don't need to like build a whole shared world and handle saving it and all that other stuff. And the other nice big benefit is typically you have an audience already for that game. So in the case of making a Minecraft plugin, it's like, well, there's already however many millions of Minecraft players. But with making a game, of course, you can customize everything yourself. You could probably sell it more easily there. So when you're talking about just learning, I think either route is totally fine for learning. They can both get you started in very different ways, but they will probably keep you motivated. And I think when you're modifying a game, you see the changes much more rapidly. Like I remember when I looked into Minecraft modding, there were these things called data packs where you could change the behavior of the game a little bit just through data. So you could say something like a cow now drops diamonds. It's like, that is a way of changing the game. Cows don't normally drop diamonds. And that's enough to just kind of get people started with this. This should probably be simplified. I'm not going to do that now, though. In fact, I'm not going to change any of this stuff because I just assigned a task to Kevin because we're going with the Adam Says management style. All right, so let's write all these things down. Skills can have different max levels. Rationale, it's hard to otherwise make Boolean skills or skills that just wouldn't be all that appealing with multiple levels. There we go. We should probably have that. Yeah, that's fine. We should probably allow for, we should only have very few skill points. Rationale is, it's easier to respec. You don't have to click a million buttons again. And each skill feels more impactful if you have fewer points, but only because the abilities can be designed such that they grant larger bonuses. Comment makes me want to learn via changing the game. Yeah, definitely. Check it out. I don't think I've played it myself. Open TTD. Transport. Oh, wait. No, I think I have played this game, but I never really played Transport Tycoon, and I did not have fun playing this. But that's because I was playing with a couple of their friends and we didn't really know, well, two of us didn't know what was going on. The third person had played this game before. But yeah, definitely. Try changing that. Biogas. They've only continued to get better, especially leaning more into the component system for Minecraft. Yeah, I haven't followed a lot of this. I made a Minecraft plugin that was like a total reimagining of the game. It was the whole you play via Twitch chat, you connect, you turn into a sheep, and you shoot TNT at each other, and that was awesome. I loved it. I loved the game. I liked the experience. I thought it was pretty easy to set up, and I could only imagine the sorts of things you could do with that. And I think my first experience with something like this was back with StarCraft 1. They had a map editor that was actually really good. I mean, it wasn't as fleshed out as the later ones would be, like Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2. But you could make custom games that resembled really nothing like StarCraft at that point. They just happened to use the same units and everything. But that's, I feel like, what made tower defense popular. And there were a bunch of other ideas that they had in there. There were like zone control maps and other things that they did. And it's from Warcraft 3 that Dota spawned. So yeah, you never know what kind of thing you're going to stumble on just because you're tinkering around in a game. And I think something like Minecraft, I haven't played Roblox, but something like Minecraft is great for that because of just how much of a sandbox it is already. Age of Empires had one too. Did that have a big community around it, sharing and playing these maps? How much of your to-do list gets done every day? Um, I'm not sure. Not a ton, and this list is getting longer and longer. But I think the important thing is that as we get closer to launch, that this list should be dwindling. Like right now, we're still in the growth phase of issues. So we have 155 issues, and if I were to file all the ones on my list, we'd probably have closer to 250. But as we get closer to launch, we should be removing more than we're adding. And I think what adds issues is when we get feedback from players. And the next feedback thing is going to be in November, although I am going to probably push that date. In fact, I should write that down. Next week should be a quote unquote normal week. Push the checkpoint for launch to later in November if we think we can swing that. I'm reading this in my head. I'm no longer going to read your messages out loud. Back over the networking piece of a game. Yeah. Yeah. Blizzard mod team was way bigger. I think that's where most of the interesting custom stuff came from. Ah, yeah. But still, it's fun. And really it does make it super accessible. It's so much easier to tweak an existing system than it is to make your own system from scratch. I read one out loud earlier, but maybe I read it first and then only read it out loud after vetting it. You don't know me. What was I doing? Oh yeah, writing the rationale for this stuff. Probably gonna allow 5 to 8 skill points to give out. Yeah, we already wrote that. Should aim for most skills to have 2 to 3 levels where possible. So max levels. And most skills should have a max level no higher than 3. And the rationale for that is that with so few total points, I don't want many skills to have a drastically different maximum level, unless there's a good reason. Would make it harder to balance and harder for players to, well, pretty much harder to balance. I think that's pretty much it. Okay, what's the last one? We may want to consider a system for how you're getting skill points. Yeah, I'll write this down over here. It may make more sense than having to click train 5 times just to get a skill point. You'll lose all trust for the rest of your life. That's right. Making custom maps and wanting more control than the built-in scripting languages. Yeah, and that's another thing that's really cool about game dev is how much you can just build on something. Like probably everyone's played some variation of Pong, which took me forever to type right there. But have you played Plasma Pong? This was just Pong, but with really, really cool visual effects. Look at that. And I think it's almost exactly the same game, except that the plasma could actually push the ball a little bit. But yeah, other than that, I think it was the same game. But this is how a lot of games got built is they saw a game like Zelda and they're like, well, what if we added this to it? And okay, now you have Zelda with a level editor and people can make their own dungeons. And it's like, well, then Nintendo makes that themselves. Mario Maker is now a game and you can make your own Mario levels. And this probably somehow came from the modding scene because Super Mario World modding was actually pretty popular. And maybe Nintendo saw that. Maybe they just thought, hey, we wanted to do this. Now we finally can do it because we have a repository for levels. Slime volleyball. Hang on one second. Okay. Just checking something. Oh, I played this game. Oh my God, I have not ever thought about this game. What platform was this on? Was it its own website or was it on Newgrounds or something? Wow, I have not seen that in forever. Yeah, it was a cool game though. Okay, cool. So polish, make the icon of a skill clickable as though it's the main button. This means we need to check if the main button is enabled or disabled properly. Hey, Smack. Yeah, okay, let's go start working on this stuff. So we go to skill button and we want the icon to be clickable. I think it should be pretty easy to do, right? I'm guessing a text direct has a mouse over and mouse exited. Yeah. It also have a GUI input on it. Well, for that, I think we need to override the class or inherit from it. Write a passage for millennial computer users. Oh man. Okay, so for the buttons, we have a click event. For the icon, I want it to function like that, but I don't necessarily. How do I start this? I don't want it to. I don't want to have hover effects, maybe, or maybe I do. I'm not sure. Let's see what feels good. I want it to be that you can click this. Let's debug grant us some points. Do you think about marketing and stuff like that for your games? Or do you focus on the product? For now, I'm mostly focused on the product. I have ideas for marketing stuff. And I want to make sure that the product is good first. I've been watching some YouTube videos about marketing, and some of them talk about things like a lot of people think marketing is hard and that you need to put in a huge budget or something. They're like, no, your game just needs to be good. And some people have made several games that were successful, and I think everyone's got advice to share. And it's hard to know what to believe because anyone who's had a successful game is now a survivor in the survivorship bias context and might think, oh, here's what I did for success. But unless you've repeated it enough times, you can't really know that it was you. And even if you have repeated it enough times, maybe it's that while your first game was successful from luck, let's just say, I'm not trying to dismiss people's accomplishments. Let's say it was successful based on luck. And then your second game was successful because the first one was successful and then showed up on people's radar as, oh, here's the hit release from the same company that made X. And yeah, anyway, it's hard to know exactly what to sort of trust out there. Figure out how to get rid of the lifecycle events, set up boilerplate. I haven't looked into it again. Again, a lot of this is about prioritization, and just the most important thing is getting to checkpoint 4. So any code stuff that isn't important is going to probably either never be touched or touched way later. All right, so we need the icon. We don't have a mouse clicked, and we can't set a GUI input, can we? Oh wait, there is a signal for this? What, really? Oh, wow. I don't think I knew that. Oh, okay. Well, then we can just do that, right? We can do a plus equal on icon GUI input and then create this thing. Yeah, wow. I think we do need to keep track of whether the mouse is over this because we have other GUI input things. Where are those? GUI input. If event is this and button left, slide out. Do we need anything more than that? I actually don't know. Let's just do gd.print clicked. Hey, Sinistello. Thanks for the resub. Welcome back. All right, let's try this out. Let's see if that works. Because if so, then we don't have any other work to do. We just treat this as though it's the main button. Oh, I meant to grant a bunch of skill points. I didn't do that. Let me do that really fast before I forget. Grant most things. Ah, so nice that we can type that. Okay, so clicking this should print in the console that we click the icon. It does not. Oh, wait, it does for that. It's for those. Why is it generating so many events? Oh, we're not doing it on just pressed. Easy peasy. So if you clicked and mouse button dot pressed, then we need to do this the same way we did the main label. Where's that done? Remove add. Tried to add point. Oh, it should be left click and right click. I don't know if we have an easy way of doing that. But what about the main skill button? Button supporting all clicks. Oh yeah, just try to add and try to remove. Okay, cool. Let's call it. This is tried to add, else, well, guess we need to drill down like this. If, actually, how about this? And mouse button dot pressed. Okay, so there's that. And then here we can just say if the button pressed was a left button, then try to add point. Else if it's the right button, then try to remove point. Cool. All right, this is just a tiny usability thing. Didn't take very long, but I think this will help out because people will probably hover over the icon to see what it does, and then they might expect that to be a button. So why not just let it be a button? So now you can left click this to add points, and you can right click it to remove points. Very nice. Yeah, very nice. Should work the same way as all these other ones do. Yeah, perfect. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so allow skill icon to be clicked. It functions just like the main button. You can left click to add points and right click to remove points. Done. All right, cool. Now I need some hover states. I don't know if I even necessarily want to change after this. I do think it'd probably be helpful to have it overall for the button. These do, but the icon doesn't. But yeah, I'm going to probably just leave it at that for right now. All right, show maximum skill points for each skill somewhere since they can differ. So we don't have the plan for where we're going to show this. At the very least, it could be in the tooltip, but I feel like it should probably be right here. That we just say like 0/2. Let's see what that would look like. Skill button. Where do we update the label here? Level of ability. Then don't we also need the ability data? Data equals that slash data max level. Okay, let's try that. Does it push after you commit? No, not automatically. I would have to manually push now. I mean, it works. And for the rogue, you'd be like, why are we showing out of 2 if everything is out of 2? But for other characters, that's not necessarily the case, right? Yeah, like this is out of 1. This is the simplest way of showing this, but it just looks a little bit busy. I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine for now. It's like I said, it's at least the start. It shows what we need to. Yeah, for now I can say I think so. But yeah, the reason we need this is because some skills only have 1 point you can put in, and I don't want you to have to hover over them to find out. Yeah, we could show it in the tooltip, but then you might assume almost every skill in the game allows for 2 points. All of these do. All of these except for 2. All of these except for 1. All of these except for 2. So yeah, it's like in almost every class, 5 to 7 of them have 2 points, and then 1 to 2, 0 to 2 have 1 point. Yeah, this one's only 1 skill. Yeah, okay. I think this is fine, especially as I use it. It's kind of grown on me. I think it's one of those like players will need to just kind of anchor themselves to that's how that works. All right, let's go check that in. Show maximum skill level on the button. Hey, chap. On the button. Yeah. Welcome into the stream. There was no way to know. Well, there was only one way. The maximum skill level before putting points in. Yeah. And now you can know. So next, make you get skill points only every X levels. All right, maybe what we should do is get to this next thing that we said. We talked about ranks somewhere. Where is that? This. It's back to the game design drawing board for a sec. Okay, so current system is you click train, it costs money, and you go up by a level. And then your stats increase, and you get a skill point. What's this game about? This is a game about running a town and hiring adventurers to do battle for you. So you might have seen these skill trees. That's for your adventurers. Just I'm gonna like zip through this. So if it doesn't make sense, then I'm sorry. But you send adventurers to battle, so they walk into this portal, and they automatically fight. So here we have the rogue and the mage fighting, and the mage casts fireball and casts lightning spells. And then when they win the battles, items will pop out of this portal, and your characters can then go stock shops with it. Is that holding an item? Oh no, sorry, they don't pop out of the portal if I have a warehouse. They go into the warehouse. So now they're going to move these potions over to here, and then customers will come and buy the potions. And then you can upgrade your town, upgrade your adventurers. So yeah, it's a quick intro to the game. All right, so that's a current system. The new system is going to be you should only get a skill point every X levels, where X is approximately equal to like 4. Yeah. Oh, nice, J-Chat. What's your game? Will there be a possibility to respec? It is already there, yeah. So you can just at any point click the minus button here or just right click. So you can add and remove points at will. And that way you can try out whatever build you want, see if it's doing well, maybe subtract some points and try out a different build. And it's the same thing with your player skills. We don't have icons for these right now, but you can subtract points from these too. So I wanted this to be a very casual game, and I think respecing is very casual, or at least respecing with no cost. So the suggestion in chat, I forgot, it might have been Unknown who suggested this, was what if you added another layer to gaining a skill point? E.g., you gain a skill point every time you rank up, and you have to level up 5 times for a new rank. Horror game. You know, it's kind of funny. I feel like almost the majority of the people who talk about their games in my channel are working on horror games. I don't know what is causing that. But neat. Yeah, hope you're having a good time. Maybe the levels of train can be gated behind beating instances. Adds a bit of balancing, but that can also help prevent someone from just idling for 20 hours and leveling up to max. Yeah, the way I was thinking of originally doing it is that your maximum money would be gated behind boss battles. So maybe it starts at 10,000 and maybe you beat the first boss and it goes to 15,000. And I don't know, I'm making up numbers here. Maybe it's like 1,000 and it goes to 5,000, and maybe training to level 5 costs 1,200 or something like that. So it's like, well, you literally can't do it because you don't have the money. Hey, Strawn. Maybe Karada. Anyway, the thing about ranking up, I guess, how would we even show this? And does this do anything for the game? So how do we show this? Does this do anything for the game? Is it easy to understand? And I guess the answer to this one is it makes it more obvious when you'll get a skill point. All right, I should probably start a doc about this. Well, lots of monsters. Yeah, I do not play horror games. I can't do scary stuff. They get a headband. I'm gonna go make a new document. Skill. I guess we already have revamped skill trees. I guess we might as well just write it in here. Yeah. Is this the scratch section? Yeah, it is. Okay. Would you find this idea possible? I mean, any idea is possible. I'm not sure. Like, I mean, if people can make a game like World of Warcraft, then they can make a game about a hotel. Not sure if you're asking like, is it possible in a certain amount of time or with a certain budget, maybe? Gave some thought to a horror game, VR jump scares, typical trope, but more like a way to have scary things just out of view as you move around the house. I think VR horror games are probably much, much scarier just because of the whole you're just lost in a different world almost. It'd actually be kind of cool. There was a game called Aversion. Yeah, this game started as a very like cutesy little platformer. You can see the really colorful palette that they chose here. And you're starting your little flower character. You jump through this world. And as you progress, the colors get a little bit darker. The characters get a little bit spookier until you're finally in this like, not exactly horror realm, but you're in a scarier version of the world with scarier enemies and everything. I like this idea. And I think if I were to make a horror game, I'd probably start it like that. Like you're in a Mario style world where, you know, the flowers have smiles on them and the sun is shining and then things get a little spookier. Hey Chris. Hey Xio. And hey Unfair Cry. Hey Rami. Do you think it'd be fun? I don't play horror games, so it'd be very unfun for me to play any horror game, even the best ones on the market. So it's hard for me to judge that. When something gets scary, I duck out. Okay, so new thing we want to come up with here. How do you get skill points? So currently you get them every level. I want to cut down on the number that you get so that it's like you're getting one every 5 levels. And here's some general ideas. One, we still give one every level and just make the max level 8 in the game. Levels would really mean something if we did that. And actually, that's not a bad idea. Two is you acquire skill points separate from leveling. Maybe you buy them, there's an item that confers them. That's kind of cool. Or there's a quest for them. Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Have you seen Epic Tavern? Similar style game. You send warriors out from the tavern to do quests. Interesting game. Never played it though. I don't think I've seen that. Mixed reviews. Have I seen this game? I don't. It looks so similar to another game that somebody shared. I cannot remember the name of that other game, but it looks very, very similar to it. Out of curiosity, why are the reviews mixed? Not finished or polished enough, lacks substance. Oh, sorry about that. I did not realize I was even unmuted. Let me mute that. 5+ years of development. It's just one janky, unbalanced mess. Man, that's always rough to hear as a developer. Game closes all by itself. Have no idea what's going on. No tutorial, just a bunch of clicking. Huh. Yeah, I'm guessing this is never leaving early access. Also, wow, $25. Yeah. There are prestige systems that I think make leveling infinite, but gains are not game changers, like getting a title or cosmetic. Could that be an option? It could be an option, yeah. There could be a prestige or rank system where you level up based on gaining experience. Yeah, you could gain experience to level up or get skill points. Twitch awareness check. Wow, thanks, Ruby. Now, if you do a Steam awareness check, I probably will not respond to that. I don't ever have a Steam chat open. Do I even have viewers on Steam? Wait, nobody go to Steam yet. I want to see if without anyone going there, there are viewers. It says 2. So hello, 2 people. I still don't know how people find the stream on Steam. Okay, so we got to design how you get skill points. Does that mean they just have the store page open? It might. I'm not actually sure if you have to expand that section. Actually, we could try this really fast. How about this? Let's see how this works. So can a bunch of people go to this page but not expand the broadcasting section? So keep this contracted, and I'm going to refresh, and I want to see if the view count goes up or if you need to have expanded this. It's still 2. So either it doesn't refresh live or this is not actually doing anything. Okay, now everyone who opened it, now expand the tab. And I want to see if it changes. So click this button. It starts when you land on the page. Maybe you opened it before. I see 11. Oh, I guess it just doesn't refresh. Oh, now it says 30. Okay. I don't know what. Yeah, well, cool. Thank you all for doing that. That's very nice of you. I just want to see how it refreshed, but I guess it's inconclusive from that little experiment. It looked like maybe it was going up for people. I failed the Steam awareness check. No, it's not too late. Hi. Yeah. Yeah, maybe there's a setting to autoplay those. I'm not totally sure. Anyway, okay. To be honest, I like this idea quite a lot, which is that you don't have to level up as much. One of the benefits of this benefit is that you don't have to mash the train button so many times for new adventurers. We could work around that in other ways. And yeah, levels would mean something. You could get skill points separately from leveling. This could be orthogonal to the system we're coming up with now. You could also get skill points from another way. No, you could get skill points via some other means, even if we do have traditional leveling. There could be a prestige or rank system. Not a traditional one, I think. I don't want infinite growth for your characters. I guess the other thing here is there's no real reason to separate stat growth from skill points. 10/10 streamer, very chat aware. Wait until I stream to another 6 platforms and then ignore 5 of them. I think the experience is also sort of separate from this. And you know what? Someone had recommended that what if you had experience and it was like a very slow way to level and then spend gold to level instantly? I kind of like that idea too. So it feels like, yeah, if you just idle in the game, you'll eventually get to level 2, but it'll take you maybe an hour. If you spend the gold, you'll just immediately get there. Problem is we need a gold sink in the game, and there are very few of those right now. What are the question marks for, J-Chap? Microtransactions or gold? Not microtransactions. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm leaning toward this. I think we just say the max level in the game is 10, and getting to 10 is impossibly hard, and getting to 8 is expected. Actually, we don't really need to make it impossibly hard. I guess 10 is the max. Yeah, that's it. Remember the assembly incident? Yes. A sink made of gold. Some people would probably get that. I think Terraria had a gold sink, at least a gold bathtub. Pretty much the same. Yeah, I said something before. I don't know if it showed up. Oh, it showed up. Yeah. Okay, JChat. Total honesty here. I'm not too interested in talking more about this game. It's nice that you're making it. I'm probably not going to play it because it's a horror game, but also just because it's sort of a game that's not on my radar. There are plenty of games I've even bought for $60 and haven't played. And if I played every game that people told me about, it'd be quite an undertaking. I don't say this to be rude. I recognize almost every time I do say this, the person who's talking almost immediately leaves chat and never comes back. But yeah, I'm streaming the development of my own game here, and I'm trying to be productive. Had an idea, you know how the zombie leader was going to have a crown, let people buy different hats. Team Fortress 2. I'm definitely leaning toward this. I guess there are actually lots of benefits. So you don't have to mash the train button. There's no reason to have separate growth. Each level is impactful. We don't have to code anything new. Yeah. No, you don't need to apologize. I mean, I think it's natural to want to talk about this stuff. Plus, I think you're probably the only person who's active in YouTube chat right now. So it seems like there's not a lot going on, but there are actually a lot of people talking in Twitch chat. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it's at least a good starting system. I don't really see a problem with the current way of leveling up, other than that the max level is 10 and you get the levels pretty quickly. But I think we'll need to make it so that the first level, like level 1 to level 2, costs a small amount, maybe 50 gold. And level 2 to level 3 will have to cost a decent amount more than that. Maybe like 300 gold. And so on and so forth. So, maybe 1,000. Excuse me, and then 3,000 and so on and so forth. One message in 2 months. Well, now 2 messages. All right, I think it's what we're going to go with. I want to write this down somewhere in here so I don't forget this either. Adventure. Do we talk about levels somewhere? Buildings, level, instances. Here it is. There's a guild level. All your adventures have a level. That's not even true anymore. Okay, well, let's write down what the current system is. So you train your adventurers. I guess there is no experience system. Rationale, we need a gold sink. Also, I don't like the idea of adventurers being drastically different levels and having to grind to get them to equalize. All right, so you pay to train an adventurer, and that levels them up. The max level is 10. Each level should be impactful. And this way we can give a skill point each level without needing to introduce a new system. Yeah, the town guild stuff, I don't like that. New or unused characters don't have to go through instances. 90% easy to understand, easier to balance. Yeah, I'll just delete this stuff. This isn't needed. It's 10. You need to pick something. If you want skill point per level, easier to balance the game if there are fewer levels. Yeah. Okay, cool. That was not so bad. Hey, Propit. Yeah, they took some of the emotes from, well, at least the emote words from Twitch. What's the replayability of the game? Incredibly low. There is not intended to be replayability of this game. And I think about games like, I talk about this a lot, but Super Mario RPG. Like when you play through Super Mario RPG, you get whatever there are, 5 characters, you get all the items. There are no branching paths. You play the game, you have fun, you stop playing the game, and you probably don't play it again for the rest of your life. And yet, I don't think people were regretful about a purchase of Super Mario RPG back in the day. And there was a remake, and I think enough people bought that. So I kind of look at it the same way. There's no real differentiating randomness in the game that would allow for that kind of replayability. Yeah, no seasons or anything. No. How about inflation starting to build up after X minutes or hours where buyables become expensive? Could balance out the gold. I just don't want there to be a complex system or anything that sort of punishes the player. And I think the way that you'd essentially accomplish the same thing is kind of just increasing prices for stronger stuff. And lots of games already do this. So yeah, level 1 takes 10 experience points, right? But level 2 takes 100 experience. It's not a different system. They're just different numbers in the system. So there's nothing new to understand. And yet you recognize that, oh, I need to fight stronger enemies now. So I think we could just do that and I think it would be okay. Yeah. Skeleton pets. We know the snake. Pixel version of Abby for 50K. I think it'd be cool to add this stuff. I think once we get to a part where there's a stable game and it's playable and people are having fun, I think adding some of these ideas could be kind of cool. Yeah. All right. By the way, I called it. JChap seems to have left. This always happens and I feel bad. I'll give an example of this, but I want to show this chat from earlier. This person, King of Spoons, you could make a mini game where you have to sword fight with another skeleton. Like, this person has never played the game. They don't know that you don't even manually control the game, and they're giving suggestions like use the duck game sword mechanics. Like, I had to say, hey, here's the game, could you please try it out? And then they said the download doesn't verify that there's no malware, and then left the stream. And again, totally fine. I'm not trying to get every single person to stay, but I get this a lot where people come in and sort of just like, hey, you should do this in the game. And I'm like, we're not making that kind of game. It's just, it just doesn't make sense. And it sort of takes my time to respond to people. And then eventually I kind of have to put my foot down and be like, okay, look, these suggestions are not helpful, or could you at least go try the game before you make suggestions? And they're like, no. And then they leave. And yeah, I don't know if there's a better way to handle this or if I'm being rude or something. I just, yeah, there was a person who months ago was like, hey, can you work on my game with me? And I'm like, I cannot do that. I made it very unequivocally clear that I'm not going to help them work on their game. They sounded like they were 12 years old and they just kept asking. And then they started, it's like it's like I was in a sitcom. They're like, Adam. I'm like, I'm not going to respond to you. I'm clearly ignoring you. You're taking away from chat. Don't feel bad. Okay, well, create the well meme. I'll have to do that. No, it's okay to not have tried the game and make suggestions if you at least know what the game is about. But imagine if someone came in and is like, hey, I think you should fix the steering controls. And it's like, what? Like, we're not making a racing game. Have I seen the Super Mario movie? I have, yes. I don't end up watching YouTube videos while I'm on stream because I try not to watch any copyrighted content. But I'm assuming it's the first platforming experience in the movie where Peach is teaching him how to be Super Mario, basically. Didn't a certain someone bully you into adding equipment? Yes. We try not to set a precedent for that. Make a public idea board and then ignore it. No, the thing is, chat suggestions are usually pretty good, or at least they get the brainstorming process started. I think it's when there's a new chatter who's just like, oh, hey, this person's working on game dev. I'm just going to talk about my own game all the time or something like that. And yeah, I try to be nice. And then I eventually, like I said, I have to put my foot down and I just feel like they just treat it as like, well, I'm not going to stay then. And yeah, it's true. I'm trying to make a game. And if it means I have to not interact with chatters like that, I guess that's what it comes down to. Run down street platform. So have you heard of Sonic R? I think it was called. Yeah. Maybe Sonic R is similar to the kind of game you might want to make. I'm not sure. It was a racing game where they all raced on foot. Apparently, at least from that little video, there was no platforming. I didn't play the game, but you could add in platforming to this. It could be kind of cool. Okay, so We're going to code this. You still get skill points the same way. The max level is still 10, but it costs way more to get to level 10. I guess all we really have to do here is go to game constants and then just change adventure level up costs. The thing is, if I want to make these be expensive toward the end, if the enchanter is costing 500 to 1,000, then we probably want to make this next one cost like 100, and then 500, and then 1,000, and then 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. How many levels have we covered? This will get you to 2, to 3, to 4, to 5, to 6, to 7, to 8. So we need 2 more. 25,000 and 100,000. This will make people question their life choices. Can adventures carry items? Yeah, they can. All right, let's go test that out. This actually makes it so that now even the debug amount of money I get is not going to be enough, I think. Well, look, another thing, I know I'm kind of complaining right now, and I don't want to be complaining about specific people exactly. I see this pattern play out a lot, and I've been streaming on Twitch now for about a decade, and I have been streaming for thousands of hours of game development. And it just always feels like I've done something wrong when someone comes in and I'm like, there is no way to de-escalate this and get this person to stay in chat. And sometimes I don't want them to stay in chat because, like I said, I have a strong aversion to the people who don't seem to learn based on the responses that they're getting. And I find that the younger the person is in chat, the more likely they are to just kind of not learn about those things. Didn't know I could play from itch. Glad you showed that. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I will say this though. The version that you'd be playing is the one from 3 weeks ago, and it is not nearly as polished as this. So you won't have the enchanter in the game. You won't have the new skills. You won't have the new skill trees, and you won't have the vault. But the vault shouldn't really matter. Hi there. What are we talking about? We're talking about some sort of distracting comments on YouTube that I'm getting while I'm streaming. People come in and they start making suggestions without having played the game. The suggestions don't even make sense in the context of the game. They're, yeah, talking about all sorts of things. Hey, Pressel. Pressel, did you ever take a look at the music some more? I was curious if you had rearranged it at all. And if you hadn't, no pressure. Hey, Uber. Yeah, the game or the stream's been going well. I'm a happy camper. I'm making progress. That's all I want to do today. I want to take it a little lighter than normal. And we've been doing that. I got to cut out the grant most things. So I don't think there's an easy way in the game right now to get to 100,000 gold. I just don't think that's, even at the max level, I have no idea how feasible that is. But yeah, the first level costs 5 to train. The next one costs 100. And then 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. Yeah, I do not have enough money. 15,000, 25,000, 100,000. We should wait, that's it? 100,000? That was the last one though, right? Yeah. We should probably put commas into numbers at some point. You didn't put a unit, Rami. 9,999 what? Have you seen any good ones? Oh yeah, definitely. And it's mostly from Twitch chat, I will say. I think my YouTube chat has generally not been incredibly high quality. Looking at you, Rami. Yeah, there have been really good suggestions in Twitch chat, and a lot of them I've taken. I've given points out for them. I think it's been pretty good. So this is done. This is not needed, and this is not needed. So yeah, you can go check this in. All we really did is change the cost of levels. Increase level up costs. I still want the maximum level to be 10. Oh, wait a second. This means you get 9 skill points. That's too many, right? 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I think that's too many. Drat. Maybe we need to make the max level like 6. You're going to be like, wow, this game is a really low max level. But with a class like this, 9 skill points allows you to get every single skill except for 3 of them. I think we got to lower this up. Can we level up? No, it's just these points. Take care, Strawn. Yeah. Started, then seemingly forgot it. I was making the version with live recorded instruments, but some of the note ranges you had in the composing were too large for the. Yeah, yeah. No. Oppressor, like I said, you don't have to start it. I was just curious what you had done with it, if anything. And yeah, I did not abide by the actual instrument ranges. Still frustrating to read or spend time on. I think bad suggestions in good faith are fine to read through. Like there are people who say something like, "Hey, could you put an experience system in?" That's not a bad faith suggestion. It's not sort of misinformed. I don't want an experience system in the game, but it's a reasonable thing to suggest. Sorry now. Okay, yeah, cool. Working on this game solo. No, check out this thing here. And for more information about the game in general, there's the Skell command. Bit large. Yeah, this isn't totally final. I don't even know if we're going to use these icons. I was looking through. I don't have the URL open easily, but this and then this. Where's icons there? Oh, I guess was this it? Yeah, it was it. Anyway, I was looking through something like this for the skill icons. Maybe I want to talk to Quickie Joe about this. I want to see, is this a fitting pack? Does it have the icons we might need? That sort of thing. Yeah, 9 skill points is too much. All right, so here's what we do. We start you at level 4, and then you get to level 10. I think we do need to set a max level that's lower. I think that's it. And I wonder how many skill points is the right amount. I wonder if 5 is the right amount. So 5 would allow you to get only 2 points in the final tier. It has to minimally be 5, because otherwise you couldn't max this skill. So minimally be 5, and probably at most I'd want it to be 6. I think 6 skill points is the right amount. So I think we make the max level be 7 for right now, which is an unusual number. Max adventure level 7. Okay, let's try that. Put competitive PvP in with MMR. Oh man. Like I said, it's all about whether it's in good faith or bad faith. And sometimes there are good faith suggestions from people who, like I said, don't kind of take the hint. But the bad faith suggestions, I think, are, well, maybe none of them are really in bad faith. They're just sort of misinformed. Like I said, not knowing what the game's about. What about starting with more than 1 skill point at level 1? I don't want you to start with any skill points, because I think the surface area that you can interact with in the game should be pretty minimal at first. And if you started with a skill point, you want to use that skill point, which means understanding enough about the battle system to be able to use the skill point. So I don't think I want you to start with any. I just want to see, okay, so max level is 7, which by the way, we gotta put that somewhere in the game. Probably need to write that down. Right in the game that the max level is 7. All right, so this would allow you to make builds like this. So you're not getting a ton of points and stuff. You could spread it out to 6 different skills if you wanted to. I think this is a good starting point. Yeah. All right, so I want to write this in here. You level up adventurers by spending money, not by battling. Yeah, stats will automatically go up as you level up, and the maximum adventurer level is 7. Oh man, no one is going to be happy with that. People are going to be like, is this a bug? Why do I stop at 7? All right, so we grant a bunch of money. 500, 500, 1,000, 5,000, and then 10,000 to your max level. Yeah. Now, this does mean that you'll never get to the maximum stats we have coded in the game. Yeah. Because you make it 10 levels, but near the end, you don't get a skill point every level. I think the difficulty is figuring out how to communicate to the player that they're about to train their adventurer and not get a skill point. So imagine if you get to level 6 and the cost is 5,000 gold. And now you see that the cost is 10,000 gold. And you're like, okay, well, that's pretty good because this is my most powerful character. So I'm going to level them up again. and you don't get a skill point. You're like, wait, what? I got like +3 power and +2 fortitude and no skill point, and I spent 10,000 gold. I think that'd be a big letdown. The only thing that leveling scales is you get 1 skill point and you get some stats, and there are only 3 stats: your HP, your power, and your fortitude. And most classes don't even get fortitude. So it's mostly HP and power. You get a skill point at 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10. Yeah, but isn't it better to just say your max level is 7? I mean, I know it's unexpected, but I think if you're going to have a tooltip, you might as well have it like everything's consistent and then you hit the max level. To be honest, I actually do kind of think maybe we should start adventurers at level 3, and that way you're just kind of confused about why you're starting at 3 and not why the max is 7. Or maybe okay, here's another thing we could do. We could change level to rank, and ranks would just have names. So it's whatever, novice to, I don't know, just come up with a bunch of names, then you end up at master rank. And master happens to be level 7, and novice happens to be level 1. Yeah, no skill points in levels 1 to 3 could also potentially work. But yeah, I think the rank system might be better. Why does it matter if you end at 7? Because Raimi would be bothered. No, the reason why I think it matters is because no other game probably ever has done that, where the max level is 7. So it's just one of those things that violates player expectations. What's your opinion on visuals and sounds of making games? Like, what's the thought process picking those for the current game? I think generally I think about the tone of the game, and in this one, the words that come to mind are like easygoing, casual, laid back, still kind of an RPG, and the setting is still a medieval fantasy setting. And I think what kind of matches that, and we kind of base things on that. So like the music is very cheery. If you listen to this. Anyway, it goes on, but yeah, it's not like a tense sounding theme, right? Just have the same part playing. Yeah. There's an in-game reason, like novice or master level things. Yeah, I think if we just change it to rank, I think it'd be pretty good. To hear more music, you need to level up your adventures. You've unlocked the rest of the extent of the free trial. Okay, I like this idea, and I think let's just come up with names now. And for that, I'm not going to come up with names myself. So in my game, in my hit video game Skeleseller, I'm trying to come up with ranks that correspond to the levels of adventurers. Adventurers start at level 1 and max out at level 7. I want the names to be something along the lines of novice to master, but I need all 7 names. Can you come up with them? It just says no and then stops. Whoa, it said Skeleseller, but it didn't say hit video game. All right, novice, apprentice, adept, journeyman, veteran, expert, master. Yeah, sure, whatever, sounds good. Yeah. GPT beat me to it. We have to say thanks, robot. Yeah, my bad. All right, where do we write this? Where's the level up thing? It's here. Oh wait, we can't put this down here. We got to put it here because it's gonna be an array. Read only string adventurer rank names. Oh, look at that. Copilot came up with them too. Novice, apprentice, journeyman, expert, master, grandmaster, legendary. Legendary is an adjective. We're not doing that. All right, so there are our names. And then let's maybe fill in something like, no, that's fine. All right, and these correspond to the ranks that you see. Are these ranks used for the skill points? These ranks are used so that you're not confused why 7 is the maximum level. And maybe I still feel like you'd want to know what level this is. So we'd probably have to render it like this, like master parenthesis level 7. And you just know that that's the max because it's master. Any chance GPT took it from there? I don't know, maybe. I mean, these are just names, so I'm not super concerned about if other games use the exact same ones. Name the ranks after the bones in the body. While that would be funny, I think people would be like, oh, what the heck is a clavicle rank? All right, so skill tree. All right, we put level there. I guess we're going to say that it's a rank instead. Where's the level label? Level up. Character level there. That's what's called. Humorous. Character level. All right, so there should be an update label thing here. Yeah, text level. All right, so we're going to say string rank equals game constants dot rank names dot bound get within bounds and the level. There we go. So rank colon rank parenthesis level like that. All right, let's see what that looks like. Could use a symbol. Yeah, I can use a symbol. I think you'd want to use a symbol in addition to the name because I think I want the rank to be in your face. And I think just an icon might not be clear enough. All right, so rank apprentice level 1. Kind of want to shorten level. I'm going to do that. Do you know the max rank number from a lower level? That's actually a pretty good idea. Yeah, I like that. Let's see what that looks like. That way you don't have to hover over it. Apprentice rank 1/7. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, cool. Thanks, Cubic. Gift Cubic. All right, so let's delete that from the tooltip, which is here. And this should probably say your current rank. Adventurers. You increase an adventurer's rank by spending money, not by battling. Stats automatically go up as your rank increases. Yeah. What is this? Hey, David Stark. This is a game called Skeleseller that I'm working on. Could make the rank 1/7 a little grayer or less opaque. You bet. Yeah. I might as well do that now. I guess it's easy enough to do. Is it already a rich text label though? Because if not, then it won't do anything. It is not. Okay, so let's copy this. Let's change the type of this to a rich text label. Oops, what in the world did I just do? I like dragged this out of here. I don't even know what that did. Apparently nothing. And then fit content. How do I get this to not be blank? I thought it was fit content. Oh man, I never remember what this is. Does it need a minimum size? Oh, it's not rendering at all. What? What is happening here? Something super funky is going on. Oh, what is that? Yeah, it's a rich text label. What? I am very confused. Level 9999. Okay, it doesn't have a width, that's why. But I thought that's what fit content should have done. If I set a minimum width of this, then I guess everything looks fine. Yeah, the problem is I wanted to fit it based on the content of the label. If true label's minimum size will be updated to fit its content, matching the behavior of label. Yeah, I don't know why that's not happening. Let's try running it from here. Is that raw TSCM format? Yeah, in the MVS code. Disable word wrap. Oh. I didn't even realize I was on. Thank you, Kevin. Oh, man. Okay, so now if we load that up, what broke there? Oh, because it's not a label anymore? Unable to cast object. Yeah, sure. All right, so go back to character label and make this a rich text label. And then down here, get that. And then set the rank code to be, how do we do this? Gray. Color equals, and then the color name. Color equals dark gray / color. I think I did take off the minimum size already. Yeah, I did. I think I'm just covering it with my camera. Give them all names. I'm probably going to let the player customize the names. All right, so rank apprentice, rank 1/7. Yeah, now train isn't lined up. Oh, man. Yeah, this is like floating there. This sets the alignment. This should set the position within here. How do we do that? I don't know what does that. I could make a center container that would probably just do this fine. Center container. Yeah, there. That looks good. Is there a beta to it? If not, when would it come out? So all that's answered in the FAQ in the link that I shared as a result of the command. But the short of it is you could play it now if you want to. I would not play it now. I would wait until the next build. Right now, there's a v0.3 online, and the next build is going to be in November, probably. And some of the things that have already changed in the game since the last build, we have proper skill trees, we have more skills per character, and we added the enchanter into the game, which is how you can disenchant items. So if I drag a potion over to here, we get this buff that you see, grant all adventurers +1 power. Scroll is active. It might have been that. Either way, the center container fixed it. So now we have, well, I didn't restart it, did I? Hey, APX. Oh, there was a vertical alignment? I didn't realize. Vertical alignment. No, I don't. Well, I don't know. As long as this looks good, I'll probably just keep it. Yeah, and it does look good. Okay, thanks Unknown for the suggestion. So yeah, rank apprentice. Your current rank, you increase an adventurer's rank by spending money, not by battling. Stats automatically go up as your rank increases. Looks good. Looks good. Let's close these millions of tabs. And then let's take a look at all the changes that we have. Grow vertical on the skill tree. I don't know what this is doing here. What is this? Line 19. For the skill tree itself, why is that done? I don't think I modified that. But I also don't think it matters. So can't set it in HBox? I guess not, yeah. But hey, the center container definitely works. I think that's the proper solution anyway. And it didn't even result in a code change because we're accessing things by unique name. All right, BB code enabled, fit content. Oh, this shouldn't say level anymore. This should probably say like rank : novice. Yeah. And then in parentheses, maybe, that's fine. Yeah, whatever. All right, current rank, tooltip changed. Theme UID changed, max level changed, costs changed, and there are rank names now. Yep, pretty straightforward. Let's go check it in. Change level to rank. This is to accommodate a max level of 7 being so unusual. I also drastically increased the cost of ranking up. Hover for more information is a general tip. It doesn't just suggest the hover itself. Maybe it should be clear that it's a tip. Yeah, I can make that change. Oh, I'll just write it down. Okay. Done. Disable the plus button when you already have the maximum number of points in a skill. It'll make it just that much easier to tell what the max is. Yeah, this isn't super important. Do we have a way of disabling buttons in here? Update number of skill points. Add points button is number of skill points equals 0. Or that you are at the maximum level. Well, that was easy. Hey, lazy. Good old AI. Yeah. So now when you put in enough points, so if I put in 2 points here to disable the button, it did not do that. Oh, wait. Oh, it's because adding a point doesn't call the disable function? Huh. Why is that? Updated number of skill points available. Oh, we might do this before we up the ability level of this? Or before we've updated the label. Oh my God. That's not smart. That's definitely not smart. Oh, man. If the skeleton goes into a hot tub, he's actually making a broth. Maybe there can be some in-depth dialogue about that. Hey, I wanted to stream on Twitch in the hot tub category, but I can't because it's bone marrow broth. Oh. Yeah. The real problem here is that ability level is only set when we update the label. It has no concept of where this ability is pulled from. So I think what we should do, I'm gonna sit down now. I think what we should do is probably save the abilities component that the skill button is associated with. And that way we can always have the up-to-date ability level without worrying about race conditions. And somewhere I wrote a note about this. Let's see. Not there. And not there. Then I don't know where. Yeah, I don't remember. This one. Yeah, update skill button label. This shouldn't be needed. All right, let's do this the proper way. So remove skill point in skill table. Associate an abilities component to each skill button so that it can always have an up-to-date ability level. And then remove this skill tree dot remove skill point, the comment in there. All right, so what do we initialize this thing with? Just a button, right? But I don't think there's any problem with us initializing it with an abilities component. Do we even call init? What are we doing? Oh, we have a setter for this. Okay, so where's this called? Skill tree. This is the accessor. This is the mutator. Set button ability. And where's this called from? Presumably we have an abilities component. We do. Okay, cool. So that one's fine. Where else do we call this? Can we put an F12 thing on the setter? Yeah. So one there and one there. And that's it. And do we have an abilities component here? We must. Please tell me we do. Where do we get this ability ID from? Skills in, oh my God. Data.skills by row. Oh man. All right, well, presumably we can get this from up in the caller. Is that not the case? Yes, it is the case. Okay, cool. Then yeah, this is all gonna be fine. We should probably just pass in the adventurer at this point, right? And then get the abilities component from there. Do we even use it in this? Abilities component. Modify ability level. And we get in a bunch of places. Cooking category instead. Okay. Hang on a second. That started as laughter and then turned into me choking. What I was debating on is actually would be kind of interesting if you had a hot tub building, and by getting this building, your skeleton just stopped doing stuff. Just relax the rest of the game. It would have no purpose. Maybe there's some end game content that unlocks that. Yeah, mine is 1 worker building. +5 worker happiness. All right, let's go change this stuff. We need to make it a knit or something here. Yeah, I think a knit should be what sets the ability level. Ability ID, ability ID, abilities component, abilities component. All right, make this private. And then also store the abilities component. I guess we need to set this to null. Or the null forgiving. Okay, so now do the stuff. Good. Now we have broken 2 things. Also, wait a second. Ability level doesn't even need to be here anymore, right? Private set. This is just going to be something that does that. Yeah. Which means the setter can be deleted. Which means we don't need this to be here. Why did I do this? Oh, man. All right, well, whatever. We can't set the ability ID anymore. I gotta change this. There's one more call to this thing too. This is not going to be very hard to do. Yeah, it won't be very hard to do. All right, so now we got to go change anything that calls into what used to be a public setter and is now private. So this is one of them. We need an init somewhere. And I guess the init would be here. So skill button.init. And I guess when we initialize it, it's always going to call update label. So we don't need to manually call this. That's probably true. Update label. Because what do we need in order to update the label? Just the ability, right? Get the data, set the text, set whether it's disabled. Yeah. I think we delete that then. Okay, and then same thing over here. So this is going to be skill button.init. This clearly doesn't know what it's supposed to be doing here. And where do we get the abilities component from? Do we have an adventurer? Oh, no, we need to pass it in. Okay, delete that. Now what's this thing? Get the selected adventurer, call update label. That shouldn't be necessary. Right? Yeah, that shouldn't be necessary anymore. Huh. Well, what if your adventurers just stop doing battle? We're changing the storyline here. I think we're gonna need a snake pet or something in the game. Add some levity, you know? Like it only speaks in hisses. And they say like, whose item is this? His or hers? And the snake says his. Oh boy. What time is it? 11? Okay. I haven't started going totally loopy yet. I don't think we need there to be a selected adventure anymore. I'm not sure why we needed this in the first place, though. Presumably to get the ability data. But we're going to associate that at click time, I guess. So delete this entire thing. Yeah, skill button, update label. All right, there should still be many other issues here. This shouldn't be needed. Update this in case it affects a future row. Yeah, this shouldn't be needed either. So stupid, so stupid. So removed skill point could cause you to remove skill points, which could make you update the button. So this one's valid. Yeah. Can the snake pet wear hats? How many hats would a snake need to wear? If you type snake with a hat into Bing. Oh, this is actually cuter than I thought. Especially the one with the crown. Well, well, well. I have been enlightened. Did I say Bing? Yes, I did. I have a Y Bing command. Actually, I looked into this recently. I've gotten $600 using Bing at this point. It works out to roughly about 50 a year, which, I mean, it's pretty good for just not really changing my behavior too much, right? I work at Microsoft and I'm surprised you use it. I mean, it pays. You're already getting money from Microsoft, so you don't need more. But for those of us not getting paid by Microsoft. Actually, even when I worked there, I also used Bing. Sucker for free money. Okay, so there should still be some issues here. Yeah, this, we need to get the abilities component, which I haven't actually fetched from this thing yet, but we can do that right now. There we go. And that might be it. Yep, looks like that is it. Oh, no, that is not. But this isn't it, so we don't need to do this anymore. And that should, there should only be two callers of this. One is here and one is here. And in both cases, we removed a set label from that. All right, let's try running this. Everything should just work exactly how it used to work. All I've done is make it so that the code is better. Hey, Matt. So we don't have any points. We put points into here. Oh, nice. Now it disables this properly. Ah, so we fixed that bug. Well, well, well. Yeah, nice. Now what about this? As soon as I remove this point, it should give me 3 points. I should be at 6. Yeah, perfect. Okay, and then same thing down here. We need it. Yep, that worked. Now, what was the repro that we had? We did something like this, and then removed a point from here. No, I don't see any problems though. Looks like all this is working. Well, I am pretty happy with that. So we cleaned up the code. You now always have the up-to-date ability level. And probably the total number of lines didn't really change by too much, which is pretty nice. Actually, we might have removed some thanks to the changes in that file. Yeah, cool. Well, done. All right, so disable plus button when at max skill level. This required me to change ability level such that it was always up to date rather than requiring a call to whatever it was, set label or something. What was it called? Update label. Yeah. Done. Done with that. File a task for later to update tooltips. I'm not actually sure what player expectation is here. So look at this. Quick strike, cooldown 0.4 seconds. Then we have this ability, which lowers the cooldown. When you put a point into this, it actually does update this tooltip. So now it says cooldown 0.3 seconds. When you put another point in, and now it says cooldown 0.2 seconds. Would players expect that, or would they expect that, oh, I have these points, so I got to do the math myself? Like, imagine if there was something that said adds 10 damage. Would you expect it to say 12, or would you expect to know that you have to add it? I know we can make it clearer in the tooltip. We could say 2 and then in parentheses like plus 10 from whatever ability name. But yeah, for something like Cloak of Shadows, increase your power by 20% and your chance to dodge by 5%. But there are 2 abilities that affect this. This one and this one, and neither one actually updates the tooltip. I think I would expect it to bundle in all those changes. Yeah, I think I would. But then I'm curious, what about anything that adds a new ability? Like this allows your ability to crit. Should we also write that in here? If you have a point in here that we say you have a 12.5% chance to crit for 4x damage. Where does it end? Where does it end? I think the numbers should change. I don't know about the crit thing. Yeah, I don't know about the crit thing. Can I have extra lines for each skill affecting it? Also, I don't think it's super critical. Critical? Yeah, let's see how these other ones would look. So Rogue, what would have to change? How about this? Let's even figure out what needs to change. So quicker strike is already done. Stealth. This is conditional, so we can't do that. Stealth, precision. Let's just put these next to each other. Stealth, precision, that's it. Oh, and fatal strikes. So execute says 8% health. If you get 2 points in this, it can say 16% health. Yeah. All right, what about the mage? Storm intensity. Yeah, just storm intensity. This is just while it's active. Gives you a power bonus. No, none of this stuff. Yeah. Hey, dim cow. Concussive blow. No, we don't need to do that. Yeah, maybe this one. Yeah, relentless crush. Because this changes the cooldown on crush, so we could just show the lower cooldown. Having all these variations in the localization files. No, we're just talking about number changes here, though. So like this one, cooldown is 0.2 seconds, and now cooldown is 0.4 seconds. So it's just a number. The localization file wouldn't have to change anything. I don't think I would add crit or whatever, any other thing there. I think that you just have to read it yourself. But I think the numbers should probably change. Yeah. And yeah, I don't think that should be tough. No, I don't think the adding more data thing is something we should do. That's why I'm only writing the names of ones that have just number changes. Skills with number changes that would have to be made. Hey, Grace, it's going well. I've been having a good morning. I'm trying to take it a little easier than normal, so I'm kind of tackling some sort of light tasks. Oh, also, I know I already kind of touched on this a little bit, but I've been saying November 8th question mark for when checkpoint number 4 will be. I think I'm going to change it to be something like November 15th exclamation mark. No, but something like this, where I bump it by a week or two, but we have some certainty that I can actually hit that date. Can then hire workers to go out and chop down trees and mine stone. I thought about this, getting wood and stone and using that to build buildings, but when you think about what is wood and stone functionally in the game, they're just currencies. So you'd have 3 currencies in the game. And then I thought, if you don't have enough wood, how do you get more wood? It's like, did it go to certain instances? Are you getting it from every instance? Does it make sense to have 3 currencies in the game? And it just seemed like something I didn't want to do. I don't mind the other part of the suggestion, which is, hey, you need more houses in town in order for customers to be there. I think that could be kind of cool. You could sell and buy resources in the marketplace. Yeah, but if there are static costs, so like let's say one wood is equal to 5 gold, then it's effectively like having three currencies again, such that there's just no reason to do it. So you need either varying costs or varying supply. So like there's only 50 wood in the store right now, so you might as well buy it all now because you know that you're going to need 100. Or you know that wood is a cheap price right now, so you might as well buy it knowing that it might go up later. And even those, I'm just kind of like, nah, do we need that? You know, it could be cool though. Something that I kind of like the idea of is what if your adventurers had, and we talked about this a while ago, what if there was like an instance that had trees and your adventurers fight the trees and this represents cutting them down? So maybe there's an instance like hardwood forest or something like that. And the trees have a total of 5,000 health. So yeah, at a high enough level, you can really like work your way through this. And I like this idea. They're enemies that don't even do damage to you, and it's just a way of farming wood, and it uses the systems we already have in place. Made something like in Heroes of Might and Magic, you take the mines. But in Heroes of Might and Magic, other people could take the mines back, which is why taking them I think was interesting. Do we get a lumberjack adventure? I mean, that's pretty much the warrior, right? I'm completely sold on this fighting resources idea. I mean, look, if in Street Fighter 2, you can fight a car, then why can't you fight trees, right? Well, anyway, if it's not already written down, I should write it down. Do we have this written down? Unfortunately, the word tree shows up a bunch of places. Maybe wood, stone. Yeah, ideas. Perhaps we should add wood and stone to the game. And the way you get them is by fighting the environment itself. E.g., you go to a hardwood forest where the trees have a combined total of 5k health. So your adventurers need to be part of the task, but they can still auto battle to get wood. I do like the idea. If we do this, maybe we only do it with wood and not stone. Yeah. And then I think we had talked about houses at some point. It attracts a new adventurer. Yeah, I didn't ever write it down for customers. Maybe customers need houses. Maybe when they run out of money, they go back to their house or leave town for a bit. You could attract more customers by building more houses. Oh, the fighting for wood and stone, I don't even think it should be a fight. I think it should literally just be do a bunch of damage. But yes, I guess there could be enemies that you fight. I guess if they were not enemies and they were just trees, that the best possible way to fight them would just be your damage dealers. Because something like the cleric wouldn't really be needed. Although the cleric might not be bad, but the warrior would probably be pretty bad. If they run out of money, they lose their house. But you want them to be in town. They can generate more money. They can pay taxes. Actually, they could pay taxes. Maybe they pay taxes. All right, where did we leave off? Because I got very sidetracked. Oh, yeah, that's right. Coming up with all the ability names that need to be modified here. Where'd those go? Where did those go? Did I close that tab? Oh, no, it's just up here. Whew. Okay, let's close the other tab so I don't keep forgetting. Oh, whoops. I closed the game. So we left off with the warrior. So we need to look through the other ones. I don't even think this change would be that hard to do. We could just do it now. Just, yep, think of any building that exists in real life and let's make the skeleton equivalent of it. All right, so I'm casting heal, don't need that. Okay, words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. What else? Not that one, not that one. Not that. Not that. And resonance. Okay, cool. That one's done. Next up is the paladin. What does double strike say? Double strike doesn't say anything. It's shield bash. It says something. Every time this ability is used, holy power infuses you and you gain 0.5% damage reduction. Okay, that's fine. Taking damage. Nah, we don't need to modify that. I don't need that. Increases max damage reduction. Yeah, shield hardening. Shield hardening. Don't need that one. Heal with holy light. Don't need that. Holy link. Yeah, improved holy link. Okay, that one's done. 2 more left. Witch Doctor and the Archer. Increase poison damage dealt by up to 50%. So yeah, poison, what is this called? Lethality. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that one. Don't need that one. Don't need that one. Yep, that's all fine. All right, and then the final class, the Archer. Chance. So what's this one called? Forked arrows. Takes a third enemy. I don't think we're gonna change that one. Yeah. Quick shot. And the maximum bonus. Yeah, so just these. It's not too bad. All right, so modify skill tooltips based on unlocking certain skills. So currently only quick strike has its own tooltip modified by getting points in another skill. Quicker strike. Quick strike's cooldown will be updated. We should do this with every skill where applicable. I went through the game and compiled a list of all of the skills where this is relevant. I don't think we should add text to skills for skills like, what's a good example? This for skills like crit. E.g. quick strike would then need to add text saying you also have an X% chance to crit and deal 4x damage. Yeah. All right, I'm not going to assign this to anyone in particular. And this goes to abilities. It's not really a feature request. I guess it's not necessarily, I guess it's both active and passive. And UI. Cool. And then maybe I'll put a picture of quick strike. Well, I'll do it like this. We'll get everything all in one. Okay, so that is screenshot number 1. And screenshot number 2 is the same thing, but with more points. we get the focus off of that. There we go. Good. Canvas size, just make this much larger, 1500. There. Okay, can we just paste this, or is this not going to work? Might not, because there are different layers. I might need to anchor this. Now it should work. Yeah. Here's an image where I'm hovering over quick strike with different numbers of points in quicker strike. Perfect. Were you looking for the feature request label? It's just called feature. No, this isn't a feature request. It's just a, well, I mean, I guess it kind of is a feature request, but I consider it to be a bug. But yeah, I saw that there was a feature request for abilities. Am I rebasing? I'm not actually even making that code. I'm just filing an issue for right now. If I were to make this code, I would just make it, commit it, everything would be fine. And to be honest, it might make sense to do this today. So I guess we'll write this at the bottom of the list. Consider doing this task. Yeah. All right, next. Many tooltips will have to change since they used to be associated with a skill in the tree, but now something like lethality just says increases poison damage dealt. And now said pizza request. The lagmite. It's the lagmite. All right, this one's a lot harder to do because we have to read every single tooltip again. This one's obvious. Cause your quick strike to be faster. You are now, yeah, that one's fine. Increase damage up by quick strike, totally fine. Well, in the shadows, increasing power bonus by, yeah. So this is not clear. This makes it sound like when you get this ability that you just get power and dodge for nothing. But it actually affects Cloak of Shadows and doesn't mention it. And it used to be obvious, but now it's not obvious because of how the UI has changed. So your senses heighten while in the shadows, while affected by Cloak of Shadows name. Yeah. This is stupid. It doesn't know how to do this. Where did we do this? Name equals. I just want to find any of these to do this. There we go. Okay. Cloak of Shadows. All right, increasing power bonus by blah, blah, blah. Great. Let's keep going through these. Expose weakness. Yep, that's already fine. Yep, fine and fine. Cool. All those are done. Increase the intensity of the storm. Yeah, it just says of the storm. And you have to know that it means lightning zaps. Storm intensity. Increases the intensity of, I guess we'll say lightning zaps. Lightning zaps name. Lightning zaps. All right, and then put this in here. Cool. Done. We're going to read these all again after I've done this all. That one's good. That one's good. Each bolt that you cast. Yeah, so Echo Strike needs to change too. Echo Strike. Each bolt of lightning zaps has a chance to do blah. These are fine, and that's fine. Done. Next up, taunt. That's fine. Crush. That's fine. Crush. That's fine. What we're looking for here, by the way, is just do all the skills mention another skill? Because if so, then it's very clear what it's modifying. This says while taunt is active. Very clear. It's not like crush is going to be modified because it says taunt and you have a taunt ability. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, cool. All those are good. That's fine. That's fine. Fine. That's not clear. Life restored from heal. I guess it is clear. Yeah, okay. This is not clear. Open mind. This should be for Blessing of Haste. Blessing of Haste name. All right. Opens the mind of your party. Maybe causes Blessing of Haste to increase the healing your party receives. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Fine. Yeah, fine. 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 And fine. Cool. This is not clear. Lethality needs to be changed. All right, what is this? Poisonous skin. Poisonous skin name. Increases the poison damage dealt by this by that much. Zombie bites an enemy. Yeah, that's clear. Fuses your zombies bites with venom. It's fine. That's fine. It's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. All right. Final class, Archer. This should probably be modified. Forked arrows. Yeah. Split shot name. Increases the chance for split shot to split. That's kind of dumb, right? What does split shot say? Split on contact. That's whatever. Just write it like that. All right, next. Dodge. Yep. Yeah, cool. Okay, everything's good. Let's go look at all the tooltips now. They should now all refer to the name of the skill that they modify. And we only changed a few of them, but I guess if we just look over all of them, then it'll hopefully be clear. Yeah, you're able to maintain your Cloak of Shadows for an extra 2 seconds. Let's make certain that we've looked at those. So Blessing of Haste, Open Mind, that's here. Causes Blessing of Haste to increase the healing your party receives. Cool. Cloak of Shadows, Precision. That is here. Your senses heighten while affected by Cloak of Shadows, increasing power bonus. Yep. All right, Lightning Zaps. Increases the intensity of lightning zaps, causing an extra 0 bolts. Each bolt of lightning zaps has a chance to strike again. Cool. Then Poisonous Skin. That's here. Increase poison damage dealt by Poisonous Skin. Technically also by Venomous Bite. But Venomous Bite refers to lethality, so I think that's okay. Then Forked Arrow. Increases the chance for split shot arrows to split. Yeah, sure. And that's it. Yeah, cool. Cool. So check all these in. Clarify which skills are affected in tooltips. The UI used to make it obvious that a skill like lethality affected poisonous skin. But once we put the skills into a skill tree, it was no longer obvious. This change adds references to the abilities being modified in the tooltips. So yeah, no functional change with this. The functions were already fine. Not like there was a bug. And we're only doing half of the solution right now. Need some sort of indication that the archer achieved maximum steady shooting. Maybe make them glow and write that they'll glow in the tooltip. Yeah, so let's try this out. Let's go to steady shooting. And let's make it so that the bonus you get per hit is... Yeah, let's make it something super large. Yeah, maybe just that. So you get a crazy bonus now, which is going to be more than the maximum. Oh, I guess it'll be capped at the maximum. Never mind, right? Yeah, and we need a way of knowing that they're at that buff. I think just making them like have red particles or something for now is probably good. Because we can always replace it with another effect. But once we have the code in place, I think it'll be a lot easier. So set num hits. So if you're at the max, what we can do is we can add an effect to you. And then we just need to do something when this is removed from the character. Removed from entity. How do we ever write this? The entity is already disposed and we don't have to do anything. I really should write a comment in the base class about why this can happen. Fire sprites. Are we going to add in a CPU particles or something? Do we ever do that? Private CPU. We do for poison, yeah. Okay, let's just put this here then. It's a steady shooting buff. We'll just do exactly the same thing. I'll even call it poison effect for right now because I don't care to change that yet. Although we will. So added to entity, add this. So we need to know if you just got it or just lost it. And I guess we can know by just checking if this thing is null or not. In fact, we can make this be null from the beginning. All right, so if you were at the maximum number, if num hits equals max num and the poison effect is null, then add it. Yeah. And if the poison effect is not null and the number of hits is less than the maximum, then free it. Then when we remove this from the entity, we just do this stuff. Public should come before private, sure. Okay, perfect. All right, so now the archer's going to look like they're poisoned, which is a little weird, but we'll make another particle effect. But it's only when they hit the maximum number of steady shots, which is going to be one shot. But let's just make sure that this is working correctly. And then they should lose it whenever they get hit in battle. So if we start a battle with just the archer, we should be able to see this work. Yeah. All right, so they shoot once, and now they look like they're poisoned. They get hit, they don't look like they're poisoned. And then this happened. It's like it's frozen for some reason. And I don't know what's doing this. But if I move the mouse or click or something like that. Oh no, it just broke. Oh, then this is an actual bug. Never mind. It did this before, but it was some weird cause. So it's saying we can't access the disposed object. It's because we're never setting this to null again. Yeah, I just forgot to do that. I accidentally toggled invincibility, but I think I turned it off. I say the poison effect should go away when they get hit. Perfect. And yes, invincibility is on, but even taking 0 damage counts as a hit. All right, yeah. I think we are good. Let's repeat that and force a loss. Yeah, nice. All right, so instead of the poison effect, what should we do? I think a red glow would be great. But I don't really know how we could achieve that. What does the battler have in its scene? We'd have to put the sprite behind the entity, which I guess we do for Holy Light. Does this add the ray thing here? Rays of light. Add child and then move it to the beginning. Yeah. So we could do that same thing and then, you know, we could actually just use rays of light and have it be red instead. But I think that looked kind of silly. I think we should have a custom thing. Maybe I'll use rays of light as a foundation and change it a little bit. Yeah. Okay, let's open up rays of light. Yeah, like I said, all we could do is just change this to red and it would look pretty good. But maybe we can do something else here too. We'll say like steady shooting max effect. We have a texture. I'm so bad at this stuff. What text editor I'm using? I'm using VS Code. Also, I hate Flow Stack. I definitely want the color to change. I guess the texture itself has that color built in though. Although we could change it via the color down here. Yeah, something on the red side of the spectrum could make this look pretty cool. I'm just so bad at this. Like, how do we make this look different enough from the other effect? Probably we just need a different texture. Maybe, I don't know. What do I even want? I want them to just look like they're glowing. I think, honestly, an outline or something would be good, but even just a circle or something in the background, like we just flicker in the alpha on this thing. We're thinking about what language to make games in. I think any language you're comfortable with. What tool is this? This is Godot. This is just a particle system I have open, and they've got a lot of tools for controlling this. Yeah, I want a glowing effect. I think we even have a glowing effect, but maybe not the one I want. Assets. I don't know where it would even be though. That's a problem. Battle? No. Not characters for sure. Not dungeon, fire dungeon, fonts, icons. Particles, just ray. Just temp. UI world. No. Yeah, I don't know. I want like an aura effect, and I don't know how to achieve this. So yeah, let's just use this for right now. Yeah. I think that'll look fine. All right, so save this, delete the script. And what is that called? Steady shooting max effect. Steady shooting max effect. And then rename poison effect to like visual effect, I guess. Yeah. All right, let's see what that looks like. So we get the archer and we put them into a battle and we zoom in and it's broken. Because what? I put it in the wrong folder? I'm guessing it's saying it can't find this thing. Cannot open file. Yeah, I must have put it in the wrong folder. Where is it? It's just in scenes. It should have been in battle. Well, let's just use Finder to fix this. Scenes. Wait, right? It should have been in battle. Where's poison effect? Game, scenes, battle. Yeah. All right. Skeleseller, game, scenes, move, battle, steady shooting, whatever, to battle. All right. That should fix the problem. Oops. That's the rogue. Cancel that. All right. You should glow red. Yeah. Yeah, it looks a little dumb, but it's better than nothing, I guess. Yeah, it's better than nothing for right now. Now, the way this is actually going to work is it's not just on one shot. We're going to change this back to be 0.02. Like the art, well, thank you. Yeah, I can't take credit for any of it, but I also like it. All right, so now how do we test this? We need the archer to have enough dodge percent and probably be in a party with a tank, which I guess really just means the warrior. So we're going to build out the archer to give you as much haste as possible, as much dodge as possible. So that, perfect. Okay, now the warrior to take as little damage as possible. Let's go with that. And then a cleric to just heal everybody. I'm not even going to really think about this too much. Actually, not that skill. That's good. Okay, cool. Now we'll put them all into a battle. Warrior, archer, cleric. And we should see the archer glow red after a certain number of hits. Yep, there it is. And when they get hit, it goes away, but then it'll come back. All right, pretty good. What are those progress bars ticking away at the start of the game? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Progress bars ticking away at the start of the game. Yeah, I can't think of what that would be that you're talking about. These are life bars. I don't think you're talking about this, though. The hero's healing up. But that's only when I start a bat. Oh, maybe that's what Smack is talking about. Um, maybe you should only have this effect when you have improved steady shooting, because otherwise, I don't think you really care that you're glowing red, because you don't get a better buff at all. Yeah, I think we do that. Okay, so we like update visual effect or add or remove visual effect. And then move all this over to there. There we go. And this should only be done if you have improved steady shooting. I guess let's put this down here. Level of actually no, we could just do it like this. If level of improved steady shooting is greater than 0, then do this stuff. On the left of the screen, let me take a look. So I start up the game. Oh, that's the hiring of all the adventurers from the cheat that I'm using, essentially. This is a notification saying you hired the rogue. And the reason this is showing up, or this is showing up, is because I'm clicking grant most things, which is unlocking all the adventurers for me. Normally, you would not be doing that all at once in the game. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't think of what it was because that's one of the things I just like ignore completely at this point. Oh, drat! I didn't save the game, so I gotta refill this out. Ugh. All right, whatever. Okay, so if we just do that, and then we put this into a battle with whatever, a bunch of people. Let's go to there and get archer, rogue, warrior, whatever. It doesn't matter. Doctor, cleric, warrior. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So now you should see the red effect on the archer when they hit the maximum number of shots, which they're like 6, 10. They need to get to 12, I think. They're probably there. Yeah, they're there. So they're the red things. But if you don't have a point in this, you should not see that. Yeah, like a notification timing out. Exactly. All right, now it's impossible to test the absence of something because we could be waiting here forever. But we know how many hits there are, and we can see that there were more than 12 already, and we're not seeing any red stuff. So yeah, I think this is good. I think we just need to write maybe in parentheses here, like you will glow red when you've achieved this skill. Improved steady shooting. Yeah, /n color equals dark gray. You will glow red when this is active. It's not really a glow. I'm going to file an issue to just make it into a glow. I think some sort of colorful aura or whatever could be kind of interesting. Oh, what am I doing? I just need to hover over this. You will glow red when this is active. Yeah. All right. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. Nice. All right. Let's go file that task before I forget. Make the archer glow red when at maximum steady shooting. Actually, you know what I should do? I should check this in first and then revert this and then go do that. That way I can refer to the commit. Looks good. Looks good. Yeah, looks good. Perfect. Okay. Add effect for archer. When they're at maximum steady shooting and have improved steady shooting, they'll now gain a particle system so that the player knows that they're benefiting from improved steady shooting. Oh, nice. We're working on it for 249 hours. I just probably had it open for that long. But it did take me an excessively long time to make that. All right, so commit this, push all of these changes, then get the commit hash of the last one. Okay, so as of this, and then let's get the code itself, I guess, which is what? Steady shooting buff. Yeah. We now have this code to add a visual effect to the archer when they've hit the maximum number of steady shooting stacks. This task is to make the effect look more like a glow than a hastily copied paladin effect. Submit. All right, labels. Passive ability. Yeah. Yeah, and we might need a special graphic for this. We might not. I don't actually know. All right, I need to show all this stuff in a more centralized view. And when I say all this stuff, I need to show the skill tree in a more centralized view, not just some window off to the side. The skill tree needs icons as well. Nitpick, offer more information. Yeah, all right. Well, we're making good progress. I think, how long have I been streaming for? Yeah, more than 3 hours. All right, I think we're going to take a lunch break now. And then when we come back, work on this stuff some more. If you liked this morning's stream, this afternoon stream is going to be very similar. And that I'm not going to be doing some like intense coding stuff here. We're just fixing little bugs and cleaning up and just taking a day to stabilize, basically. The last 2 weeks have been kind of nuts. I worked on the enchanter. That was some pretty intense work. Did some music too. I don't remember doing that. Yeah, and then we added all the skill tree stuff. Lunch here, it's almost 9 p.m. Here it is 11:47 a.m. But hey, Rockstar. And let's write in the journal for today. All right, did some, I don't know what to really say here. What did we do this morning? Mostly tooltips, or mostly skill tree stuff. Did some of the remaining skill tree tasks that had been accumulating as I was going full throttle on getting all of the new skills in the game. The JMP. All right, well, thank you all for watching. I'll be back in about an hour. I'm going to be kind of loose with that right now, but yeah, when we get back, we'll be back for maybe 2 or 3 hours. So there'll still be some more coding. Well, hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching so far. Bye, everybody.